formen, wie man möchte. Und dann sieht es eigentlich perfekt aus. Das ist das, was wir zum Beispiel mal als Puristen bei Kobi bemängeln, dass man sagt, das Formteil bei diesem Auto oder bei diesem Flugzeug ist perfekt. Das sieht nicht mehr nach Klemmbaustein aus. Das ist Modellbau. Das ist ja perfekt. Und dann sagt man, ich hätte es lieber ein bisschen, aber dafür gebaut aus mehreren Teilen. Dies ist ein Formteil, was gruselig mies aussieht. Wie haben die das denn geschafft? Frage ich mich. Das ist ein Geheimnis. So, wir gucken mal. Mit Sternchen oben drauf, wenn wir das mal wollen, das ist wie die Antenne beim Hochhaus, schaffen wir 48 cm. Ohne Sternchen sind es so 40. Und wir haben einen Durchmesser von 34 cm. Wenigstens ist das Ding klein. Das ist immerhin etwas. Cheers. Alles schmeckt besser aus der Heldentasse. Also, das ist das Ding. Ich möchte euch sofort die grandiose Funktion vorführen. Wow.
Warte, das hat eine Funktion?
Da dreht sich ein Zug um. Und für die, die es nicht gesehen haben, weil ihr immer noch geblendet seid von der Hässlichkeit dieses Klumpens.
Oder ich gucke auf den Baum und denke, okay, jetzt geht hier ein Licht an. Der Baum fängt sich an zu drehen. Weißt du, wie so diese alten Spiele, wo du die Kerzen runterstellst, weißt du? Ich dachte, der dreht sich jetzt und der Baum fängt an sich zu drehen. Und ich guck und sehe nichts und er dreht und er dreht. Oh mein Gott. Windspiel, ich meine, ihr kennt das sicherlich, diese Holzkonstruktion, wo diese Pyramiden-ähnlichen Sachen, Weihnachtspyramiden heißt es, glaube ich, da könnt ihr unter eine Windkonstruktion, die halt auf die Hitze reagiert, Kerzen stellen und dann dreht sich das. Ist auch echt, gibt es ziemlich verrückte Konstruktionen, ist sehr, sehr geil. Sehr, sehr geil. Sind auch teilweise richtig teuer. Und mit teuer meine ich 70 €. Nicht 300 €. Also für 300 € kriegst du kommt der Tischler, der das baut, bei dir zu Hause hin und baut dir so eine 50 x 50 cm Sache hin. Der zieht dir das da richtig rein. Aber also die finde ich ja richtig, das finde ich richtig cool tatsächlich. Ne? Das kenne ich, das ist aus meiner Kindheit, diese Dinger. Die standen dann überall und dann machst du so eine, bei manchen sind oben diese Flügel abgebrochen und dann kann man die immer wieder reinkleben und richtig ausrichten und dann stellst du unten so ein kleines Teelicht rein, dann machst du die an und dann drehen die sich so ein bisschen. Das ist sehr, sehr muckelig. Genau, diese Dinger hier sind das. Hier so die Lichter drin oder die Kerzen, die oben dann so eine Rotation auslösen. Und dann dreht sich das ganze Spiel hier. Richtig cool. Gibt's auch in richtig handgemacht und so. Das ist cool.
Da dreht sich ein Zug. Das ist super, oder? Für einen Motor war kein Budget drin. Kennt ihr diese super langweiligen Leute, die auch Züge haben um den Weihnachtsbaum, die dann motorisiert sind? Die sind ja langweilig. Ist viel cooler, wenn man sich hinstellt und die ganze Zeit dran dreht.
Ja. Man kann sicherlich 300 € für auch solche Teile bekommen, die sind nur extrem besser. Also ja, natürlich. Ist ja auch viel Handarbeit tatsächlich. Ne? Ich habe mal eine Doku geguckt von so vergessenen Berufsständen, wo Leute, einzelne Handwerker, solche Dinger immer noch reparieren. So Senioren und so. Die kriegen das zugeschickt aus ganz Deutschland und dann reparieren die solche Dinge.
Beim Motor wäre auch nicht mehr drin gewesen. 300 €, das Budget war knapp. Wer macht das? Wen von eurer Familie könnt ihr so wenig leiden, dass ihr den abstellt und sagt, du übrigens liegst hinterm Weihnachtsbaum, so dass man dich kaum sieht und drehst langsam an dem Ding? Was soll der Blödsinn? Wem wollt ihr was beweisen damit? Ich verstehe es.
Wem willst du was beweisen damit?
Übrigens, natürlich, ich brauche nicht drüber reden. Beleuchtet ist das Ding selbstverständlich auch nicht.
Oh Gott, das hätte ich mir fast noch gedacht. Ich dachte so, okay, das ist vielleicht beleuchtet. Gibt es einen Knopf oder so, ist eine kleine Batterie irgendwo rein. Hier schreibt jemand vollkommen random in den Chat rein. Mein Ex-Freund hat unter anderem mit mir Schluss gemacht, weil ich Held der Steine-Videos geguckt habe und Annie the Dark finde. Kann ich kurz mal das sagen, was hier gerade alle denken? Hä? What? Also, ich meine, das scheint so, als wäre dein Leben deutlich besser geworden. Aber hä?
Natürlich nicht. Das war auch nicht mehr drin im Budget. Und vor allem, wer macht ein Lichter an einen Weihnachtsbaum? Also, vollkommen abwegige Idee. Sowas dämliches. So, aber ich wollte euch ja zeigen, was in ihm steckt, weil hier ist einiges los. Passt mal auf. Diese unfassbar hässlichen Blätter kann man auseinanderzerren.
Bruder, ist das so eine Weihnachtsmann-Kommandozentrale oder was? Sind da Bildschirme und so Tactical Maps drin? What the
Und dann geht es hier auf. Dann sieht er ein bisschen besser aus, zugegeben.
Ja, muss ich sagen, finde ich auch.
Aber man sieht diese hässlichen Blätter nicht. Blätter nicht mehr so.
Das
Weiß nicht, wo es abgegangen ist.
Ja.
Auf jeden Fall, das ist das Konzept. Man kann das hier aufklappen und
Optimus Christ. Santa, du hast dich mit dem Falschen angelegt. Dein Baum ist in Wahrheit gar kein Baum. Es ist Optimus Christ. Verwandelt sich einfach. Oh mein Gott, er verwandelt sich einfach. Autobots. Was ist heute denn los, Alter?
Bevor wieder irgendwas gegen meine Scheibe fliegt. Licht aus.
Oh mein Gott, ich bin so, ey, wirklich, ne? Was ist denn heute im Wasser gewesen, Alter? Ist irgendwas in meiner Tasse? Ja, Tee, aber das war's auch.
das zeige ich euch jetzt mal. Und dann habt ihr drin, gut, das sind alles Aufkleber da drin, bis auf oben, seht ihr das? Das ist das Highlight, von dem ich sprach. Das ist Santas Route, wo er überall noch hin muss. Also nicht die Route, mit der eigentlich die Lego-Leute gekloppt gehört hätten, nachdem sie das hier vorgeschlagen haben, sondern es ist seine Lieferroute.
Oh Mann,
ja?
Alter.
Und da kann man
Oh mein Gott, hier schreibt jemand rein. Es handelt sich hier um Bumbletree. Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott, Alter. Bumbletree ist ja heftig, Alter. Bumbletree finde ich heftig. Oh no, Bumbletree ist richtig gut.
man genau
Oh
sehen, was er
no.
tut. Und ja. Unten diese Uhr übrigens, und jetzt könnt ihr auch nochmal vollkommen ausrasten daheim an den Bildschirm. Schaut mal, wenn ich hier drehe. Seht ihr, dass der Technikzeiger sich da auch dreht? Ja, ihr seid völlig aus dem Häuschen. Ich kann nicht
Integrating new PDA data.
Ja.
Das dreht sich auch das Ding. Guck,
Also ich muss sagen, drin sieht cool aus. Also ich finde die Idee, dass da drin so eine Weihnachtsmann-Kommandozentrale ist, finde ich cool. Sieht halt nicht so gut aus, wenn man das alles schließt.
guck mal, wie schön die Technik da drin aussieht. Ah, das ist schon schön.
Ja,
Das ist schon schön. Ist idyllisch.
ja, finde ich auch sehr cool tatsächlich.
Ah, eine rote Achse guckt einen an, ein paar blaue Pins. Das ist einfach knuffig.
Ja, okay, es ist halt nicht, also, ja.
Das sieht knuffig aus. So, das machen wir mal wieder zu.
Wurde der Preis schon genannt? Ja. Ihr läuft immer noch die Nase, weil der Preis genannt wurde.
Und jetzt gehen wir auf. Ich überlege. Ah, hier ist es abgerufen. Das sind die
Das
Standardelemente.
sind 300 Euro. Das sind 300 Euro für die Leute, die es verpasst haben. Kostet 300 Euro.
Die sind neu eingefärbt hier in durchsichtig rot und durchsichtig orange. Die sind normalerweise transclear und sind ein hellen. Ja. Jetzt gehen wir auf die andere Seite. Und. Mist. Wartet. Habe ich das jetzt gemacht? Ich habe an der falschen Ecke gezerrt. Ich glaube hier. Nee, ich finde es später.
New blueprint
So.
acquired.
Hier könnt ihr auch reingucken. Da seht ihr unten den Workshop der Elfen, da seht ihr auch die Pinsel und so weiter. Und oben seht ihr ja, so ein Arcade-Ding. Und jetzt wartet, haltet euch wieder bereit, dass ihr tanzt vor Freude. Moment. Der Baum oben dreht sich auch. Also unten die Eisenbahn, oben der Baum. Knaller, oder? Geht richtig ab. Auch hier möchte ich dazu sagen, dass die Elemente innen wirklich gruselig ausschauen. Wirklich gruselig. Aber wartet, das ist noch längst nicht alles. Jetzt kommt nämlich der große Punkt. Das kann man sich überlegen, wie man das möchte. Wir können das hier raushebeln.
Okay.
Und jetzt habt ihr hier, ich habe euch versprochen, dass ich euch diese eine Funktion zeige, auf die sie wahnsinnig stolz sind. Und die sie die ganze Zeit durchziehen, ob ihr wollt oder nicht. Ihr müsst sie einfach bis zum Schluss komplett ertragen.
Dass das Auseinanderbau ist, ne?
Und das ist das Konzept.
Ja.
Übrigens, dieses so auseinandernehmen, was ich euch gerade zeige, ist definitiv niemandem ohne Anleitung zuzumuten. Habt ihr gesehen, was das für ein Akt war? Ihr müsst immer die Ebene nehmen und passt mal auf. Sie haben sie farbstudiert, gell? Hier ist grün, da ist grün. Also nur das auch nochmal. Ihr nehmt das, legt es hier rein und dann drückt man über so C-Clamps und dann ist es drin. Wenn man es rausnehmen will, zieht man es ab. Gut, dass das in der Anleitung steht. Ich hätte nicht gewusst, wie ich sonst die Ebene da rausholen sollte, weil es ist ja... Wer zieht denn schon an was, wenn er das haben will?
Ja, ich verstehe, dass das ein bisschen übermäßig ist. Ich verstehe aber auch, dass du... Ich weiß jetzt nicht. Ich weiß nicht, ob Dinge zu viel erklärt sind. Also ich verstehe, dass Leute schlüssig genug sind und pfiffig genug sind, das auseinander zu klamüsern. Natürlich. Aber dass es in der Anleitung drin steht und dass Leuten das... Ich meine, ich drück's mal so aus. Wenn du dich...
Gruselig wieder ist. Jetzt habt ihr nochmal den Innenraum, den ich euch zeigen wollte. Hier sind dann immer diese Clips, mit denen ihr die Ebenen miteinander befestigt. Und sieht halt also nicht mal, dass der Kamin hier irgendwie gebaut ist, gescheit. Wahnsinn. Und das ist die Rückseite, die natürlich auch nicht verkleidet ist hier. Also, oder hier. Oder so. Wie bei jedem anderen Hersteller, der von beiden Seiten dann baut, mit einem Baurichtungsumkehrer dazwischen. Macht jeder andere Hersteller. Bis auf Lego. Und deswegen sieht eure Rückseite so aus. Das ist
Wir haben schon Kunden gehabt, die von ihrem Widerrufsrecht Gebrauch gemacht halten, weil sie ihr Lego Playmobil Meccano Set nicht zusammengebaut bekommen haben. Ja, das möchte ich auch sagen. Ich glaube, dass zu viel Erklärung eigentlich kein Kritikpunkt sein kann. Wenn etwas zu gut erklärt ist, selbst in den einzelsten Details, ist das okay. Man kann sich da so ein bisschen lustig machen, aber am Ende ist es ja eigentlich
das Ding. Hier unten, die ganzen Geschichten sind alle in der Farbe jetzt neu, weil das alles diese Slopes sind, bei denen Lego unten eine Plate weggelassen hat. Deswegen sind es vollständig neue Teile. Das ist natürlich eine wahnsinnige Erfindung. Also sie haben was Neues entwickelt. Und dann habt ihr, jetzt könnt ihr gucken, das ist quasi identisch. Ja?
Ja.
Das ist identisch. Es ist praktisch identisch, es ist einfach nur eins kleiner. Das ist wiederum komplett identisch mit dem hier.
ja.
Ja, also so viel zum Bauspaß.
Ja.
Und innerhalb dieser Sachen, dass das und das leicht unterschiedlich ist aufgrund der Größe,
Ja.
die Nummer hier ist praktisch auch wieder identisch, dass ihr hier diese Knubbel baut.
Ja, genau, es kann ja auch extrem inklusiv sein, ne? Also so viel wie möglich erklären, so viel wie möglich zeigen, bebildern, ist halt auch extrem inklusiv, das stimmt schon.
Und diese kleinen
Ja.
Pins, also
Ja.
sind Ball Joints prinzipiell, die baut ihr selbstverständlich wieder nicht in der richtigen Farbe und die baut ihr oben ein. Jetzt ist der große Trick, auf den sie wahnsinnig stolz sind, ist das hier, dass sie das hier oben so als Brücke einbauen. Das ist ihr großes Ding. Das machen sie jedes Mal und auch bei denen schon wird es so reingelegt. Ihr baut hier an der Seite sowas. Ja, so ein Ding. Und hier sind jeweils hier sind die C-Clamps und das setzt ihr dann hier drauf und dann klemmt ihr die einen hier drüben ein. Habe ich es jetzt richtig gemacht oder ist das jetzt falsch rum? Das ist mir eigentlich egal. Das klemmt ihr hier rein. Und das dann hier drüben auf der anderen Seite. Und dann ist es wieder verbunden. Und das ist so eine grandiose Bautechnik, dass ihr das ständig wieder baut. Und es fühlt sich so wahnsinnig wiederholend an. Weil es hier alles aus diesem kleinen Gemüse zusammengebastelt wird. Immer mit den Brackets, dann immer die Fliesen drüber, die gleiche Geschichte, dann ist es wieder eine Plate und dann geht es wieder von vorne los. Es ist jedes Mal das Gleiche. Und dazu baut ihr dann immer wieder diese Technikgeschichten hier hinten auf. Auch immer wieder exakt das Gleiche für jedes Stockwerk, um die Blätter dran zu machen. Und deswegen habt ihr auch manche Ebenen, auf denen ihr die Blätter verstellen könnt in der Höhe. Und manche sind hier aber festgemacht mit einer Echse und das könnt ihr nicht runterdrücken. Diese Ebene ist dann starr, die bleibt waagerecht, egal was ihr macht. Hier oben drüber könnt ihr wiederum ein bisschen runterdrehen. Und so müsst ihr irgendwie hinfaken, dass ihr wenigstens nicht die ganze Zeit hier so dazwischen guckt. Ja? Deswegen müsst ihr das möglichst runtersetzen. Was ein Highlight ist, mit Sicherheit in Legos Augen, und es war wahrscheinlich ein millionenschwerer Deal, das hinzukriegen, dieser Technik-Connector hier, das fokussiert er nicht drauf. Ich glaube, es ist zu wild, die Kamera will wegschauen. Dieser Technik-Connector hier ist jetzt dunkelgrün. Den gab es vorher nicht in dunkelgrün. Deswegen erwähne ich ihn, den gab es vorher nicht in dunkelgrün. Und das ist eine Leistung, die anscheinend vieles hier wettmachen soll, was hier los ist.
Was?
Das ist erbärmlich. Also falls ihr eine Definition von schrecklich erbärmlich sucht, das ist das Ding. Für nochmal 300 €. Mit Aufkleber.
Das ist krass.
Und mit
Das ist
einer
krass.
Handvoll Figuren. Und ohne Sinn und Verstand.
Ja.
Das ist der absolute Knüller. Hier fehlt, glaube ich, ein Blatt. Das sieht so komisch leer aus. Aber das heißt nicht wirklich was. Aber ich hoffe, dass es das hier ist. Dann kann ich hier noch eins ranbauen. Hier ist irgendwie eine Lücke für mich. Egal. Und dann habt ihr hier oben den Stern. Den finde ich sogar ganz lieb. So als prinzipielle Idee. Aber kam der jetzt mal mit Fokus ran, dieser Stern? Der Stern hier? Der sieht so ein bisschen nach Kristall aus. So, das ist ganz lieb, oder? Ich finde, es ist ganz lieb. Ja. Die Blätter sind indiskutabel schrecklich. Scheußlich. Also Kinder, ich habe ihn gebaut, also lasst ihr bitte die Finger davon. Das ist der große Plan. Habt immer nette Leute um euch. Eine gute Zeit. Bis bald.
Klicke ich das doch, nämlich Kipsreaktion.
Always a good day when Shionhead uploads. This is your kind of like warning, not warning. We're going to be screaming into the void for about 60 minutes to 90 minutes again, as we are wont to do whenever we react to Mommy Shionhead. I wonder if she actually likes the nickname. I wonder if she actually likes it, or if it's kind of like the whole public perception playing to the meme. I feel like it's playing to the meme, right? Mommy Shionhead. Yeah. We're going to scream into the void for about 60 to 90 minutes. I don't know really what we're bringing up today with Cult of the Crybabies, why people hate the left, but obviously you can tell this is going to be in some way, shape, or form in regards to politics. So, yeah, I guess fair warning, I guess. Let's prepare to laugh, prepare to scream into the void.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of What the Hell is Going On with your host, Ugly Belle Delphine. Now, before you ask, yes,
I don't
there is
even
an
know who that
Epstein
is.
Files video coming out. I
Nice!
feel like everyone has streamer brain nowadays, and every f***ing video has to be breaking news in order to get the most views. But I am taking my time with it. I'm sure you understand there is a lot happening.
There is.
Sure,
Patrick
okay,
Boyle as well. I haven't watched his videos on it, but Patrick Boyle has had videos regarding the files. And a few of them have been actually age restricted. Actually just thrown into the YouTube abyss. So it's been interesting to watch that happen.
gibt da ein, zwei Stellen, die sind nicht richtig geladen.
What's happening?
Oh, want to be clear. Do you want to go there, Attorney General? Do you want to go there?
I don't even know who any of these people are, if I'm being honest. This Miss Balin, whoever this is, I mean, this is out of order, right? In terms of like, if we're talking a court of law, right? Like, there's supposed to be like decorum. There's supposed to be respect, right? And like as I said, I really have no idea who either of these people are, so I can't be biased to people I genuinely know nothing about. I've heard like Bondi's name passed around. I have no idea who she is or what she does, right? It's like if somebody in chat was talking to me, like we were having let's say we were having a conversation, and I just cut them off, right? That's rude. That's not professional, right? That should be grounds for expulsion in general, right? Like even I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't really have a reference point. I don't know who these people are. I'm too employed to care about who these people are, if I'm being honest. My day, in fact, revolves around more than hearing old people complain about things, and you know.
Ich glaube, das war das Fragment.
Just being dumb.
Woanders, da kann man sich
I like doing other things. I
ganz
like
leicht
reacting to
durchschummeln.
other things. I like playing other things. I'm playing RuneScape right now, right? I do other things.
Wenn er nicht perfekt ist, ja, das. Tada, kommt man durch. Und ich muss nichts irgendwie
I guess
reparieren.
contextually that is pretty bad.
Tada.
I view that as kind of a double fault, right? I don't know. It's a weird one. Once again, I don't have the reference point. If we're actually talking about like, that's like saying, you know, oh yeah, this isn't necessarily so bad in reference to like the Holodomor. And then someone who's, you know, family literally lived through the Holodomor, like, excuse you? Or like somebody saying like, you know, oh, US-Japanese internment camps weren't that bad. You know, and they were the correct solution, and you know it was deserved to someone whose family was literally in a U.S.-Japanese internment camp. Which remember, the U.S. has set precedents that they can and will do. That is something they can just do. They can just strip people's rights. That is something that we can and will do. And the fact that my videos, my reactions, have been people's first interaction with, wait, there were U.S.-Japanese internment camps? That's a problem.
Your country, sir. Anyway, let's just forget about these satanic billionaire pedophiles running the world, and let's talk about some internet drama, shall we? Because that is what's really important.
Always.
For a little over a decade now, the most inane things can get you called a racist or a Nazi on the internet, to the point where these words hold little to no meaning anymore. It's so
Oh my god, she's so right though. Like, what came up, popped in my feed today? Something about the VTuber Onyx Award that's supposed to celebrate like VTubers of color or black VTubers. I don't know. I got a bare bones like 4-minute like this is the situation on it, and I'm just like, cool, sure, whatever. Like I don't. What? Like sure, go for it. Awesome. Why is this drama? I don't know, dude. Once again, I guess I'm too employed for this.
bad that when someone is called a racist or a Nazi online, I'm immediately like,
Weiter. Nope.
oh, what funny joke did they tell?
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, we have officially come to the point where not saying anything also makes you a racist Nazi.
Do you know why this is though? What's the South Park meme? Silence is violence, Cal. Right? It's I would argue it is a warping of the concept of silence means complacency. Silence means acceptance. It is pushing that to the limits, I would argue.
A few of you watching this channel who are employed, there's a very popular Twitch streamer named Emaru. She's a cosplayer, just kind of a fun, chill, normie video game streamer. Well, the other day, someone in her chat asked her her opinion about ice, and this is what she had to say.
I just kick the person, honestly. Like, like, don't get me wrong, shoe and head video, right? This is our 60 to 90 minutes of Scream Into the Void. I have actively shut people down because if I'm playing RuneScape, I'm playing something else. I don't want to touch it. This is our 60 to 90 minutes. This is our video where we do things, and then we just move on. And then it's, you know, cool. Yeah, we'll save it for the next Shoe on Hit video.
There's a certain extent where I'm like, okay, sure, I get people wanting big content creators to like say their opinions on like important topics. I get that, right? But it's like, if you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
In a world.
Correct. I would argue 100%. There are people who like talk about serious subjects with behind the scenes.
Sind einfach nur ein paar Mods.
But I know that they're competent. I know that they're cognizant. I know that they could explain their entire decision-making process. They know I can explain my entire decision-making process, right? You're at, like, it's weird, and it leads to, and I've struggled with this as well, where it feels like I'm supposed to stand up and do something, right? And yeah, if there's something wrong, I will speak up about it, right? How many of you forgot about the airman who lit himself on fire? I'm trying to put it as lightly as possible. Very serious event in protest. And then it was suddenly that the DOD was coming out with, oh, well, he had all these mental issues, and this, and it felt like just absolute slander. How many people forgot about that? I still talk about it. I don't forget. How many people forgot about the Army, officer who stole $200,000 from the Army Food Fund? Is he gonna get publicly lashed? Is he gonna get publicly ridiculed and mocked? Do we know his name? I remember. What about the Air Force 2-star general?
Bleib im Wasser.
60-year-old,
Verschwinde.
whatever, you know, this old bastard. And he was getting accused of SA allegations. Oh, I want to retire. I don't want to face a court martial. No, you get back here. You're going to court. But oh, I'll just retire. I don't forget. How many people forgot about, you know, 4 tech bros being awarded rank? The definition of quote unquote DEI that people complain about. But suddenly it's fine. And nobody cares. I still remember. Internet outrage is 2 weeks, and unfortunately, more and more, it's putting people in the crosshairs where people are having to express their opinions and almost even feeling obligated to talk about certain things, even if it's outside the realm of their expertise. I have my opinions. You have your opinions. I can come to certain opinions, but at the same time, it's like there needs to be a cutoff, right? Because at a certain point, you do risk just becoming. I don't know. It's why I have issues. It's why I have issues with Fat Electrician videos, right? With my reactions specifically, because it starts to feel like an echo chamber. That, you know, oh well, you're doing a good reaction.
Die andere Mutter anscheinend nicht funktioniert.
I like it. I don't know. It starts to feel echo chamber to me, and I don't know how to really word that. Or like Shoe on Hit videos, right? I don't know. I guess that's just the internet as a whole, right? Where people are still very much, you know, split down the middle, right? Because hatred feels kind of deserved, but at the same time, support can feel like an echo chamber, and it very much leads to, I wouldn't say imposter syndrome, but it very much leads to this, like, what to feel, how to
Ich
feel,
hatte eigentlich eine Mod drin, die
and there is
mich
that
alles scannen
expectation of,
lässt,
hey,
aber anscheinend
you
ist
are
das auch
a
nicht mehr
big
da.
personality or a larger
Die Mod hat
personality.
anscheinend nicht funktioniert.
And yeah, I've spoken up about the military. I've spoken up about how dumb right to repair is. I've spoken up about veterans not getting their benefits. I've spoken up about dumb management and bureaucracy and it costing people their lives. And I do it not because I'm obligated to, because I choose to. Because hey, if people are going to put on an act and be like, oh, well, I'm a veteran advocate, and you know, suddenly when they get 1 million subscribers, their whole tone changes. Bro, nobody's got time for that. I mean, she brings up a good point, and
Das wird
I
ja wieder
think that there
riesig.
needs to be more boundaries from streamers.
Tada.
Let's just chat. You will never know who I vote for. I don't care who you vote for. It's not my business. It's not your business. Simple as.
Mal gucken,
I
den.
think there needs to be healthy boundaries at a certain point, because it can devolve, and not only is it a liability, brand damaging, etc., but it's okay to meet someone or to watch someone and just enjoy what they do. It doesn't have to be that deep. It's okay to just watch in passing and go somewhere else. It's okay to just be normal, quote unquote, if that makes sense.
Where it seems like every single celebrity is just screaming their political takes completely unprompted. This was a refreshing thing to hear. Seems like a pretty sane, rational, inoffensive thing to say, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. This short little clip where she ironically tried to avoid controversy ended up being one of the most controversial dramas this year. I feel like
And I mean, honestly, dude, if that quote by Emir upset you, dude, go outside. Touch grass. Like, actually. Dude, just turn your phone off and go fishing for a weekend. Just, bro, like, we are so cooked.
decades worth of news has happened in the past like 2 months, don't you? Every day there's like a breaking story of the most insane shit you've ever heard in your life. And everyone is expected to have a fully formed opinion on every single breaking story. There's pressure to react, to pick a side, to condemn, to defend. But the reality is, when a story first breaks, we're usually not seeing the full picture. And that's why for years now, I have been using today's sponsor, Ground News.
That was a good segue. I'll give that a 10. She went from very serious to I wouldn't say not so serious, right? But she went, it was a good average, right? It was a good twist of the script, right? Very serious topics into a more like a playful ad. I like that. I thought that was good. That's a 10.
So let's quickly give them a shout out before we jump into today's video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that lets you see how news stories are being covered all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias, ownership, and headlines that helps you understand the full story and really make sure you're getting both sides. They really make it fun and easy to compare headlines to see how political bias and media ownership can affect the framing of a story. For example, let's take a look at this one about how RFK admits he used to snort cocaine off toilet seats.
Nice! Bro! Oh, that's some... Oh, yeah! When are we just making this legal? Like, hear me out, right? I think a lot of people would be okay with the economy and lack of pay if we could just get some good flour, right? Some good nose flour, nose candy. Full disclosure, I don't use. Never used. Have no intent to use. I love laughing at kitchen stories when I used to work in kitchens of people doing exactly this. See, here's the thing, right? Like, people can do this. RFK can do this. Why can't I do this? Why can't you do this? Oh, suddenly that's illegal. What a legend! Has he figured out how to cure my autism yet, actually? I haven't actually checked in with him in a hot minute. I think the worm in his brain might be eating a bit of it too much. Wasn't my autism cure expected to be back in like June or something? I'm still waiting on that. Where's my tax money going? Oh, what a legend.
If you look it up on Ground News, a right-wing headline covers it like this. RFK revealed why she wasn't scared of COVID. It was a legendary answer. And a left-wing outlet covers the same story like this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doesn't fear germs, and his reason is really, really gross. Same story, completely different vibes. Ground News feature I like to use is the blind spot tool. It shows you how news stories have been covered by only one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how Hillary Clinton says migration has gone too far. Rare W. Suspicious. 37 sources covered it. 91% of those sources were right-wing, and only 4% were left-wing. Interesting. Or this one about how middle-class Americans are selling plasma because of financial pressure.
Bro, people have been donating blood and plasma for how long? This ain't new. What? I have a bunch of people doing it for years. What do you mean this is stupid?
Americans are selling their blood because they're so poor.
Did I just miss something? I mean, this has been a thing for years in Idaho. It's been a thing for years. This isn't anything new. What? Am I detached?
71% of the sources that covered this were left-wing, and only 14% were right-wing. I have been using Ground News for like 5 years now, and I am obsessed. It's one of the first apps I open when I wake up in the morning. It really helps me stay informed and helps me keep up with the news for my videos. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center recognized Ground News as an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. This comes to only like $5 a month, which is like the price of a cup of coffee nowadays. To get the 40% discount, just go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code on screen right here, or click the link in the video description down below to subscribe to their Vantage plan today. Big thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad as always. Right. And
I wonder if other React channels skip their ads. I wonder. I don't know. I like reading the ads. I like or watching the ads. Right? I like it. Because like the logic I go with is like, if we want better ads, why not be part of the solution and rate ads? Like, hey, how was this? I think this is a objective 9, subjective 10 because toilet coke and humor, right? Yeah, I think there's. I mean,
this is
audio
Avery
consistent,
Quinn, training ship
consistent. It was good.
Aurora,
The
do you
signal
read?
was seamless.
Over.
I mean, a lot of
Another
information,
vacuum.
good to know stuff.
These
I mean,
all
obviously
terrorist
playing
ships.
to the
They
audience.
run low on
video
engine
topic,
grease, send an
as well as
SOS.
just
Help,
absolutely
they don't pick
insane.
up. Aurora, I'm out on the far side of the system.
Right?
It's going to take more than a week to reach your
is the modern
position. You
news.
still need our
I thought it was
assistance.
good.
Over.
I'd give it a 9. Was it super?
I'll try them again
was it
tomorrow.
as additive as it could have? I think it was
Charter's
additive.
going to have
Was
us
it as
blowing
additive
our
as it
credits
could have
running
been?
errands for Altera.
I think for me, yes,
See
but
what
I
the
think for your
long-range
average
stands
person, they
pick up
probably
in the
could have skipped
meantime.
it. But that's the point. That's why how do we make more ads 10s, right? This is something that definitely feels very, you know, cut back to video, right? Rather than something seamless like, you know, Grunty Boy or other things we've reacted to, right? I would give it, objective 9, subjective 10. I think it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought this was definitely part of the video. You must skip ads because of their peculiar advertisement laws. That's actually
will increase your effective exploration
yeah,
range.
I mean, I'm not
For your
a
safety,
sponsored
please
or
pack
affiliated by any of
supplies
these
for
ads that
long
we're doing here,
journeys
and I would
and
expressly
stay
say,
within
hey,
5
I'm sponsored
kilometers
affiliated
of
by
the
X,
nearest life
which I am
pod
not
or
sponsored affiliated by
habitat.
X, right? X is in the variable, not X is in the stupid renaming of the platform. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Emery's opinion was enough to have Twitter maul her if Lim from Twitter would hate me more. Dude, it's why I'm not on Twitter anymore. After the whole VTuber bow, I don't even remember what she tweeted. Yeah, I'm kind of done. Like, if people want to reach me, if people want to collab, I mean, they have their avenues. They have their ability to reach me. And I think that would honestly be more of a lasting impression and a lasting working relationship / friendship if people, you know, reached out not on Twitter. Like, right? If that makes sense. Right, what are the quality of people who still use Twitter? Right? Don't get me wrong, a lot of us still check it for art and stuff, but let's be real, right? How many of us just outright avoid certain topics, you know, accounts, etc.?
now let's get back to the video.
Oh, good.
In this video, we are going to talk about the drama surrounding Emery, the people trying to cancel her, the mistake the left is making by embracing cancel culture again. We're going to read some insane, hilarious tweets, of course, and then we will talk about my personal experience with these people. And
so here's the thing, cancel culture doesn't work anymore because the people who it would work against are immune from it.
Welcome
Logan
aboard,
Paul,
Captain.
he was responsible for the adpocalypse, was he not? Logan Paul with the Force incident, Logan Paul with the weird CPR rat thing, Logan Paul with Crypto Zoo, Logan Paul with Dink Doink, and you know, FTC alleged violations there. Logan Paul with Prime, Logan Paul suing CoffeeZilla, Logan Paul doing Logan Paul things, right? This man still's doing business. Man's still doing things. He sold his Illustrator Pikachu, which PSA, for some reason, re-slabbed. I have some concerns with PSA and their integrity at this point, personally. Cancel culture doesn't work on the people that it should work on, and cancel culture only works to hurt people who actually care about their reputation and who are receptive to feedback, right? Right? Like, we see how this doesn't work anymore. The other part of that, people don't care. People don't have money. People are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to make ends meet. right?
This is Ozzy from the
There's
cafeteria.
No
what the hell,
There's no
guys?
Stay-at-home dad. Both
They didn't
parents
warn us
must
this
work.
might
I
happen.
wonder why it's hard to raise
Our
a child.
pod was
Let's not
almost
have a
crushed by
child,
the
right?
Seamoth Bay on the way down. Now we're hanging on the edge of a cave system, and this grim-looking snake thing's trying to eat through the hull.
Have I
Come get
exemplified
us
my point
already.
enough? Have I, like, provided
Signal
enough supporting
location
evidence, right?
uploaded to PDA.
What do I mean by these people? I mean the cult of the tribal.
Sure, I'm into this. Man, 20 minutes. We just got past the intro. Amazing.
I'm sorry if I sound even more like a prepubescent boy in this video. I am a little bit sick, but I am here, slaving over a hot laptop.
Makes sense.
This is Officer Keenan,
If you guys
Lightpod
saw my
19.
last video, you know
The
I'm
captain
quite
is
critical
gone.
of ice. I
I
don't
have
think we should
assumed
abolish
command.
them, of course.
The last thing the captain did
no.
was give me coordinates for dry
yeah,
land.
that's what I was talking
We
dude, there
regrouped
was
1.5
some bots
kilometers
or
southwest
whoever
of
in my
the
comment
crash site.
section.
Stay together
was
and
talking
good
to some
luck.
buddies, and they're like, half
This
these are
message will
bots.
now
I'm like,
repeat.
makes sense.
Rendezvous
Oh yeah,
coordinates
something
corrupted.
face coverings. Police,
Transmission
regular police
origin
viewers don't have to wear
coordinates
face coverings. It's
downloaded.
actually an issue. Like
Signal
what?
location uploaded to
I hear
PDA.
allegedly they're getting like deported is not the correct word. I was gonna say they're getting deported from like actual like football games and stuff. Oh, dude, it's so
Lubricant
funny.
is essential in
Like
construction of
it makes me get
vehicles
popcorn.
and power
See, here's the
plants.
thing as well though, is like it's entirely possible because swatting like icing is a thing, right? It's entirely possible someone from a comment section just called find something.
Shut up.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Yeah, they definitely have a presence in Idaho. I haven't heard about them, but they definitely do. And I think it'd be really funny to just chat with them. I think it'd be really funny. But then again, they also don't have trigger discipline. So maybe that might not end so well.
I think it is good and healthy to criticize your government. I am a political culture war commentator. I talk about political topics often. People come to me to hear my political opinions. Not everybody wants to be a political YouTuber or streamer. And not
Bro, I hate that. See, we have our 60 to 90 minutes where we complain about stuff like this, and then we move on with our day. See, it's called compartmentalizing things, right? You know when, like, your coworker, like, screams into their pillow, or they, like, cry on break, and then suddenly they're fine? It's called compartmentalization. It's okay. Like, we don't have time to do things all the time. So therefore, we have a select period of time in which we do the things.
everybody wants to listen to a political YouTuber or streamer. Sometimes we just want to have fun and talk about other things. There are lots of other things to talk about.
Got 1,800 videos. A lot of them are fun.
Sometimes we want to look at funny memes or watch funny videos without having politics shoved down our throat. So a lot of people thought it was really refreshing when a cosplay streamer was basically like, I don't want to talk about politics. Why are you coming to me for politics? It was a perfectly sane, rational opinion. So of course, like, half the internet had a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's just not that hard to say f ice. It's really not that hard to say f ice, to be honest. It's so hard to just say f ice. It's really not hard to say f ice.
So here's the problem with this, right? Are you ready for this? Because we know that people watch things, right? And especially with AI, right? Generative AI and current AI models, I guarantee you that the Department of Homeland Security has every single message spanning back, what, 2 decades, right? Or whoever covers it. Pretty sure it's Homeland Security, right? Maybe? No, NSA. Dude, yeah, you could have said the funny gamer word 20 years ago in Xbox 360 chat. Think about that. We're approaching 20 years, right? And the NSA will know about it. You could have done some spicy ERP in WoW, right? Not that you definitely should. I'm pretty sure that's against DOS. Not that anyone does that, right? The NSA would know about it. And they could recall that information with AI models, right? If someone so much as put in the word Epstein, right, with access to keyloggers and, you know, how many apps have your data and stuff, it genuinely would not surprise me if the NSA, FBI, whoever else, literally couldn't, you know, AI model their way through vast amounts of your data. And, oh, John Doe said the word Epstein in 2018, February 2nd at 12:23 p.m. their time. That's my understanding on how that works.
Oh, shit.
Now, whether they do something about it or not, I don't know. I don't know who necessarily enforces that, and I'm assuming it's, you know, do they have big fish to fry? Yes, no, right? Like, I'm assuming there's certain things that go into that. But, like, what I'm trying to get across is everyone's saying stuff like this, especially on social media, especially if they're paying for something that's tied to that, like their name in some way, shape, or form is tied to that email, right?
Integrating new
Is it
PDA
not out of
data.
the question that in the same country
Ich hätte mir
that had Japanese
erst
internment
Hilfe
camps, and
setzt
no, I
mitnehmen
will
sollen.
never let that go. Because the US is a little too comfortable with that having happened, and a little too okay with that,
um mich
right?
abzusichern.
Because that is precedent. Are you telling me that in some way, shape, or form, some place down the line, if you search big Latina booty in Texas, because Texas already banned the funny H anime, the funny H stuff, right? Texas already banned some spicy stuff, which I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Texas. How long before they start doing stuff like that? How long before you have some law enforcement knocking on your door because you search big booty Latina in Texas? How long before you search Epstein in Idaho and suddenly you have maybe ICE or someone showing up at your door, right, saying we need to have a chat because that's not very good? How long until let's say you criticize your governor, right? Like if I were to criticize Brad Little, and I feel there's a lot to criticize about him in Idaho specifically. I personally just, I don't know what he even does, if I'm being completely honest. I haven't heard anything he's really done. But that could also just be the news cycles I'm in, which are non-existent. Like, how long before I suddenly have Idaho State Police? And we can argue that's paranoia, right? Absolutely. And to a degree, it is paranoia. Once again, Japanese internment camps. We should be angry about this. We should still be upset about this. That's why we should be advocating for laws that say this will never happen again. I hear a lot of people complain about the full auto weapon ban that happened in the 80s. I have not heard a single YouTuber, a single firearm YouTuber say we want to repeal this. This is our plan of action. We're going to submit this. This is going to go through Congress. This is going to go through the Senate. This is, potentially going to have bipartisan support. This is going to, be signed into law. I have seen zero firearms YouTubers, big personalities who love talking politics, actually say that they want to do something about this. And I think that's a little interesting to think about.
Jesus Christ, how hard is it to just say ice? How hard is it to just say ice? How hard is it to just say ice and move on? Oh my god. Just say ice. It's not hard. Is it so hard to just say the line? Say the line. Say it. Jesus Christ, like at this point, even if Emaru did want to like abolish ice, even if she really did think ice, she shouldn't say it. Like, I wouldn't say it at this point because this is just like, this is creepy. This is like a horde of zombies chasing us.
Yeah, I mean, how many of these are bots too? That's the thing. We know bots exist. We know that a generative AI, what was it, a German experiment? Something about Germany and AI and using Reddit. I don't remember what it was specifically. I think it was a German firm or German team who did it. And I guess like AI, we're having conversations with AI over Reddit. And let's be real, how many things are just going to be AI generated? And then we have bots talking to bots, right? Like, it's hard to tell what's a bot and what's not anymore. And I think social media in general, it's good to distance yourself from it. I'm not saying like throw it all out the window, right? But like I'll log into Blue Sky every now and again, which, oh my god, bro. Comments about like, oh, well, I saw Kip at a Blue Sky, and that tells me what kind of man he is. Oh, it's so funny. It's funny watching these people cope. Yeah, maybe I'll log on to Blue Sky every now and again because I like seeing when Shenpai posts. Maybe I'll log on to like Twitter just to say, hey.
Aurora, this is Sunbeam again.
Yeah, I'm not really using Twitter anymore, but I'm camping this so nobody actively steals my thing, right?
I didn't know how bad.
Log on to social media.
How many
I'll read
of you?
comments.
I didn't know.
Doesn't mean I engage.
We're now en route to your location.
Hey, it's
We're gonna
actually
bring you
super
home.
easy to stream
Sunbeam
and
out.
have opinions. I'll show you.
What else can I say? The only time I parked a rig this big on a rock that small was in VR. And I blew it. It's a bad option, all right, but so are all the others.
Könntest du aber den Rest auch bitte auffüllen? Perfekt. Dankeschön. 10. Ich mal Benzinkasten. Dann einmal Speicher, dann mache ich mich mich auch weg zu Rettungskapsel 12 und danach zu Officer Keen. Und alles bevor die Aurora explodiert. Das ist Speed Record. Let's go. Ich kann mir hier kurz was anderes kümmern.
Guys, Donald Trump and everyone in his administration, Elon Musk, free fence sitting. She's just choosing not to talk about politics.
Yeah, there's a difference. Ideally, one of the best plays you can make is not to talk about it, right? Like, here's the thing: is if I wanted to do better Pokemon content, I'd stop bringing up the fact that Pokemon and Nintendo actively did not file a DMCA claim against, what was it, DOJ, DOD, whatever, whoever did the Pokemon Ice video, right? But Nintendo is very litigious. So you see how that doesn't make sense? And I have criticisms of that, absolutely. I would continue to criticize that because they chose to do nothing. But if I didn't say anything, it'd be better for most everyone involved in that situation, because that's not why people want to watch Pokemon videos.
It's like, in order to fence it, you actually have to say something. She didn't even say anything. Like, how do you even know what her opinion is? Second of all, modern Gestapo. Why is everything the f***ing Holocaust? It's totally normal to criticize ICE. It's totally understandable to have issues with the things they are doing. But
yeah, it's totally normal when someone has to testify in court that they had a mustard sandwich to the face. What a wuss, bro. I'd actually... If this person ever sees this, what an absolute wuss. My guy, you are an absolute embarrassment.
Modern Gestapo? Don't you guys get tired of this? Like, don't you guys get tired of saying, like, isn't this exhausting after a while? Everything is Nazis, everything is the Holocaust, everyone is Hitler. It's like nothing else bad ever happened in history.
See, here's the thing about this, though, that I would argue. Right? You want a really interesting point? So I want to see if she leads into it. When everything is X, suddenly nothing is X. If everything is, you know, the Nazi regime, if everything is the Gestapo, doesn't that devalue? And I use devalue loosely here. Doesn't that like? How do I word this? Doesn't that nerf the concept, right? Like, how do I word it? Remember when you saw your favorite movie and you absolutely loved your favorite movie, but now you've watched your favorite movie like 6,000 times and maybe it hits a little less than it used to, right? It's that normalization, desensitization, and I would argue apathetic acceptance, right? Because suddenly if we're calling everything Balloon Hitler, right? I don't even remember where that meme comes from. I know it's a meme. It might be from 4chan. If we're calling everything Balloon Hitler, suddenly people are more apathetic to things being compared to the funny mustache man, right? And it's a weird one to talk about, because on one hand, it's like, people need to grow up. People need to, you know, need to not be weird about it. But the other side of that is there's, I would argue, a potential weaponization of beating people over the head with concepts until they're apathetic about it, leading to acceptance of the thing, if that makes sense. I'm having a weird time trying to word it, right? In essence, you're tired of the thing, therefore are less inclined to fight the thing, if that makes sense.
Like, what did they used to compare bad things to before World War II? Oh my god, you're literally Napoleon. Also, I love this. Racist chud. Like, where did the racism part? Where did that come from? Listen, I don't get on camera and start talking about cars or math or taxes or investing or going outside or the plenty of other things I don't know about. I sit here and talk about the gender war and the culture war because I'm good at those things, and that's what people watch me for. That is my lane, and I stay in it. Emerald likes what she's doing. Her audience likes what she's doing.
This is actually what I do wrong. If you want an actual analysis and why, like, I kind of stopped growing 3 years ago, right? Because I had a couple big hits in terms of reactions. I don't really stay in my lane, and I'm a little too spread out. And I mean, this video alone is going to have people who are just going to want to go away, and that's fine, right? Like, watch something that you want to watch, right? But like what she says is absolutely correct.
Plenty of other channels that will regurgitate your political takes back to you. Just turn on the TV. Turn on CNN. Most people, most normal people, are sick and tired of celebrities just like spewing their political takes completely.
Oh my god, what was that I was hearing? I think it was from Critical Drinker. Something about, was it the Oscars or the Grammys? And a bunch of rich people, a bunch of rich actors and directors and stuff who go to events like that awards events for film, and they grandstand about modern like events and stuff. Mate.
Sorry, kann ich nicht.
Stop. Like, to clarify, no, I'm with him on that one. Right? Like, I have my agreements, I have my disagreements with what he puts in his videos. That one specifically, I'm like, I feel like I'm so out of touch watching an award ceremony for rich people and rich and influential people. Second, I don't necessarily need to see Emma Watson. Does she still have this stuff? I don't even know anymore. I don't need to see Emma Watson go up on stage and talk about, I don't know, like maybe like, you know, throw shade at Rowling. Don't get me wrong, I have my very strong reservations against Rowling. I think she's a bad author. Like, she cannot write her way out of a paper bag, and I've talked about this. Cursed Child, retcons where, oh, well, yeah, Harry should have ended up with Hermione. Mate, you wrote the book. Stop retconning stuff. Go away. Stop touching it, right? I have my firm reservations, right? But I guess Emma Watson got into trouble in the past year or so because she 180'd stuff she talked about, and it's like, just be consistent, bro. That's what we talk about here. Just be consistent. Don't be weird. Right? But you know, let's say Dwayne The Rock Johnson accepts an award for best Dwayne The Rock Johnson film, because who else does he act? Let's be honest. And he starts grandstanding about like insert modern topic here. Bro, who cares? Bro, you're rich. You're literally not even one of the masses. Like, I don't care. It's so out of touch. It's so strange.
Unprompted. I don't care what Glub Shitto thinks of politics. Okay? Why does Glub Shitto have to get on stage and start talking about how we're on stolen land or some Why do you need your political opinions thrown up into your mouth by a celebrity like a fucking baby bird?
So I actually, pause champ, I actually have a theory on this. It's playing to an audience, right?
Das meinte ich hier. Da kann man
Raven, I know we've talked about this. I know we've talked about this indeed. It's playing to an audience, right? Because if I wanted to say have a successful firearms channel, would it not make sense to hit every single talking point? Be good old, down-to-earth, salt-of-the-earth American, you know, love me some outdoors, love me hiking, love my dogs, right? That kind of thing, right? You know, something, two-way, infringing my rights, right? You do the whole song and dance, whether you believe in it or not, right? But I would argue that's disingenuous to play to an audience like that, and that's, dude, I show up, and this is just me. This is unfiltered, well, semi-unfiltered me, right? Like, I'm not playing a character. I'm not trying to BS somebody. I'm not trying to, like, pull the wool over someone's eyes, right? Like, this is just me, right? So, yeah, when I see something that, you know, I don't know, something happens in the firearms community, and I look at that and go, are you sure about that? And everyone's just like, oh, no, it's fine, when very clearly it's a problem. Which I'm referring to several things and several different incidents with this one. I'm not singling anything specific out, right? You don't do that, right? And that gets into modern business and how, like, you know how like Sony will like push an update and then they'll backtrack and say, oh, we don't understand like the PC market and we're trying our best, you know. But if they didn't get the backlash, they would have done it anyways. Manipulating people 101, play to the ethos, pathos, and logos, right? Play to an audience, right? Be a caricature if you have to, right? I disagree with it personally, and I choose to just be here. I show up. Cool. We complain about things for 60, 90 minutes on Shoot Hit Video. We laugh. We have fun. We cry. And then we move on with our day. I don't know. I very seldom dip my toes into things like this at this point, because I'm just on a politics channel. Don't really care about being a politics channel. I have negative interest. I will show up. and say when things are done.
Bleibt so.
Guys, like, do you really want Sydney Sweeney throwing up in your mouth? Don't answer that.
I'm not into it. No, I'm not into it. Someone is. No, I'm not into it. Especially if they had like. Oh, no, I'm not into that. No.
Please don't answer that.
She's right when she says most streamers are not qualified to talk about politics. Okay, here's the thing, dude. You actually don't have to be qualified to talk about politics to
Oh my god, bro.
say ice. It's not that hard of a concept.
You actually don't have to.
Do you know what logic that is? That is the people who... No, I think there's a difference. So here's where I was going with this. You know when I had my whole unsubscribed podcast, DEI, I'm literally not qualified to talk about these things, right? Me saying in response to that, because overwhelming support for those episodes, I'm not qualified to talk about military XYZ. The amount of people in the comment section who said you don't have to be qualified to talk about a thing, once again, it's mixed signals for me. I think that it's a weird, so technically, the poster here is right. Technically, yeah, you don't have to be qualified to talk about a thing. If I want to talk about why I like the M93, or Beretta M93 Replica, or whatever it's called, yeah. Talk about how I think it's cool in Resident Evil 5 and stuff, right? I use my knowledge base as like, well, non-existent knowledge base. I use that as kind of a reference point. But it's like, I can't tell you about barrel twist. I can't tell you about the alloy that it's made from, but your average person also isn't going to know that, reasonably so, right? So, in general conversation, there's kind of a safe spot of like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I enjoy the thing, right? We're not robots. We're not. As much as people will try to tell you that humans can be robots,
No.
we're not. Regardless of how neurospicy. I'm a neurospicy individual. I am still far from a robot, right? Like, there's give and take and grace and giving people the opportunity to explain themselves and cite sources and an opportunity to grow, right? So technically she's right, but at the same time, you should not be forcing someone who doesn't want to talk about a thing to talk about a thing.
Jeff and Jeff.
You're just the asshole there.
Know what you're talking about in order to just say the line. What? You should look into a topic, do your own research, come to your own conclusion, and form your own opinion on the topic. You should.
I like what chat says. There's a line. You don't need qualifications to talk about things, but if you want to do it professionally, then yes, you do. Right there. Send tweet. That one.
Not just blindly, mindlessly say the line.
You know who doesn't do political content? Cutie Cinderella. Cutie Cinderella literally never does political content. And even she's capable of saying, guys, what about Senna? You don't have to be a political creator to recognize that it's not hard to say, ice.
You don't have to be a political content creator to say the line. All your other friends are saying the line, Emeru. Why are you saying the line, Emeru?
So we call that peer pressure, right? Hey, oh, don't worry. Just one little cigarette, and then it develops into a 20-year smoking addiction.
Yep.
How is that
Das ist
different?
nicht gut.
How is this not bullying? How is this not cyberbullying? Actually, now that I think about it.
True.
L-Ice. Okay, but unironically though, them. Straight up.
They have been a very fun source of laugh fodder, if I'm being honest. Their training, trigger discipline, dude, it's so bad. Like they should actually. Oh, I can't say the thing because those are 4chan lines. I can't say those. Sandwich to the face, bro. Oh God, I will forever laugh at that man. What an absolute just. What a man.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's them don't care, and if you don't like it, I say that it's too. You know what I mean? It's really that easy for me, I'm telling you right now.
There's Emeru's roommate saying the line. Aren't we all proud of her? By the way, where are all her friends during all this? Where are all her morally righteous, good guy, big streamer friends while this is all going down? While she's being dragged by half the internet for doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Do you know, if they're non-existent, this is actually why I have trouble reaching out. This is why I have so many reservations just even befriending other creators if it comes to that, right? Like,
Oh.
obviously, like one thing leads to another. Cool, hey, we
Nice.
talk to each other regularly, right? That kind of thing, right? I can't stand fake people.
Tectonic activity detected.
I can't.
Patterns inconsistent with
If
the
you're
quantum
going to
detonation of
be
the
there
Aurora's drive core.
performatively,
Point of
just
origin
don't.
somewhere within 3
Right?
kilometers. Extreme
Just
caution is
don't.
advised.
Obviously, it's a little different
das
on
Gefühl
social
hab ich
media
gewartet.
because like there's people who like
Da rein.
come and they watch like a video of like a reaction of mine, and then they leave and they're like, "Cool, that was a decent reaction. I liked it." And then they watch other things, right? And that's fine. That's normal. I'd argue that's healthy, right? They do other things with their lives, right? And also, there's other people who come out to this chat, like Bald Ruminant's been on a 70 watch streak. What a legend! Raven, I'm sure, has his own watch streak. What a legend, right? We had I just saw it up above. I'm sorry, I totally missed someone's sub. Phoenix1234M subscribed earlier. What a legend, right? Like, there's people who want to come out, and it's not that they're like weird or anything, right? It's that like they enjoy being here, and that's where they feel comfortable spending their time from. And so there's a give and take, right? It's not that people who come out sometimes are performative, right? No, not anything of the sort. They just want to do different things with their life, and that's okay, right? And we need to normalize that it's okay. And I know it's hard on social media because I like metrics as much as the next person. I hate when my metrics go down, especially in January. But like, it's when it comes to an actual person, when it comes to an actual friend, right? Like let's say person I play RuneScape with in mod chat, right? If someone is just going to be there performatively, and if what's happening to Emery happened to me, and then they just bounced, that'd feel really bad, right? It's why when I have people on my mod team, why when there's people I regularly talk to, I genuinely think that I genuinely like, yeah, I'll invest time into this person. If there's someone I regularly talk to, yeah, I genuinely want to invest time into this person. I'd like to invest time into more people, but part of that is scheduling. Part of that is like I need to step away from my PC sometimes, right? You know, work-life balance, that kind of thing. What little I have, like, this is a big fear about mine, and this is actually why I've kind of pulled back a little bit from the VTubing community, because there are some awesome people, dude. There are some awesome people out there. You know, we've rated Hydrated Waifu, we've rated Dragon's been awesome creators, which you should definitely check out, who've come across as genuine, right? And that's awesome. There's also just a number of situations in the sphere where it feels that support is performative, and if you're not in the in crowd, you're a nobody. It's just High School 3, dude. I'm not into High School 3. Moral of the story, if you wanna be around, just be legit. Just be a cool person. It's fine. Be an asshole. At least be that kind of ass. Be the lovable kind of one, right? Like, I can't, and I think this is general life advice for good people. Surround yourself with people who aren't yes men, but people who support you. And even if they disagree with you, right? I mean, there's been things that, you know, I talk with people who I regularly talk to. I disagree with certain things. They disagree with certain things I do, right? But we still can be reasonable and rational about it, and we can still enjoy each other's time and company. And I think that a lot more people need to return to that. A lot more people need to return to the understanding that sometimes things aren't that deep. Sometimes people are just there. And if when it matters they're not there, are they worth investing the time into? Or can you invest your time into something else, but at the same time not become so vain and you know, egotistical that, well, you know, you're not worth my time because my time is important, right? Having compromise. These all go into being an adult.
This girl who literally just came out of an allegedly abusive relationship. This girl who literally just got assaulted, grabbed by some freak at a convention. Now this girl is...
Yeah, why is Twitch CEO not being forced to retire? I think that's a travesty.
Going through all of this. I guess it's fine to be silent when your friend is getting dragged by half of the internet. But don't you dare stay silent about current things. I don't even know this woman, and I'm sticking my neck out for her because it pisses me off seeing this kind of shit happen to people who absolutely do not deserve it.
If you're above the age of 18, you should care about politics in your fucking country. You don't get to be like, well, I don't agree with this whole tax system. So I'm just not gonna pay for it.
And that's how you get audited by the IRS. Have fun with that.
Hab Spaß damit.
Oh, yeah, have fun with that. Yeah, you should care. You should care what's going on with your local and state representatives. You should care what's happening, you know, on a national level. Absolutely. Know what? Like, dude, she has it so twisted. You can care about it, but not talk about it, if that makes sense, right? You know the whole thing about going to vote and you doing it in, you know, little like dividers so no one can see what you're doing, right? You know, that thing, right? So hear me out. Here's the difference between me and a lot of people. I do my voting thing, and I do it, and I don't really talk about it because I don't want good boy points, if that makes sense. It doesn't matter who I register as. It doesn't matter who I vote for. It doesn't matter what I vote for. I will talk to people, and I have talked to people, right? I talked to my teacher buddy, where we had a thing in regards to, it was one of the propositions in a recent state thing about, I think it was like funding CWI or something like that. And you know what I did? Hey, teacher friend, I have a question regarding this proposition that's being, you know, what are your thoughts on this, right? Oh, well, these are my thoughts on this. This is, you know, my position as an educator. This is, you know, my opinion and my bias, right? And obviously it's not as robotic as that, right? But we have that discussion, right? Like, we have the ability to talk back and forth. And at the end of the day, you know, hey, thanks for outlining this for me. Appreciate it, right? Thumbs up. And then I make my own decision. I don't talk about it. I don't go, what's up, Kip Nation? Today we're talking about how we voted for this proposition. Did you see how cringe that is, bro? How absolutely just detached from reality that is? Bro, you don't, and here's the thing, don't get me wrong. I, as John's social media, right, in what small capacity I am, right, I get it. I understand the need to monetize everything. I don't even clickbait my stuff, right? Down to the, look at the title of this video. Quote, whatever the title of this video is, quote to the cry bullies, right? And then Kip reacts to Shoe on Head. I don't even clickbait my stuff, bro. I hate clickbait. You hate clickbait if you're watching this, right? We all hate clickbait, right? It's not what the algorithm wants, but it's like, it's okay to not talk about things, and people need to normalize that. And this is where I said in the beginning, where silence is violence, Cal. That's where that's getting twisted, because we have, what is it? Evil is allowed to prosper when good men do nothing, right? It's taking that to the next level. It's taking that quite literally. In chat, I should care, but not making my whole personality like that. Me personally, I just want to make it through the day with no money buy 7-Eleven Buffalo Wings in Arizona. But yeah, that's also bad too. But yeah, just get through your day, right? Why I'm cool with Shoe. I don't agree with her on everything I'm supposed to, but I'm not supposed to. But like this piece of work, Shoe actually has the principles to recognize that humans actually are. Exactly. I don't agree with Shoe on Head on everything. I'm sure I've said things about things in the videos that Shoe on Head just looks at it and scratches her head and goes, wow, this guy sure is, he's sure something, right? It's okay to disagree with people. Just don't be weird about it. I was extra appreciate that. She has it so, this is so, I would argue this is bad, right? Throwing someone through the mud because they're not part of your little, like, your little world of how the world works. Let me tell you how the world works, okay? Like chat said, like the person in my chat said, people want to go to work, they want to get paid, they want to eat their weight in buffalo wings and go to bed, okay? And then do it all again, okay? Sometimes you add some benders in there. Sometimes you get a little bit of the poverty picture in there with, you know, what is it, like 3 buzz balls. Oh man, it was a funny short that I saw recently, right? Drinking, smoking, etc., whatever, right? Like people add stuff like that in there. Like your average person just isn't going to do that. That's not how any of that works. Your average person also doesn't have the ability to change things, right? I think it's stupid that the DoD is adopting Grok. I think that's incredibly dumb, and I would argue a threat to national security. Guess what? Guess what is very specifically not stated as a threat to national security, right? Right? I can't do anything about it. I'll complain about it. I'll complain about that great 2-star Air Force general who wanted to take retirement over facing a court-martial over SA allegations. What can I do about that? Remind people that that person exists. And we should probably, you know, question that person when he goes to functions and events, right? There's nothing I can do about it beyond that. And at a certain point, it also does become harassment too, right? Like if I don't know, like Facebook stalk this person, right? That's harassment, right? Like that starts to get into unhealthy territory, right? Right?
Age of 18, you should care about politics in your own country. You don't get to be like, well, I don't think this is taxes. I'm just not gonna pay for it.
Verbessert ist.
You can't say like, well, I'm just not gonna care about all this politics stuff.
When someone doesn't have an opinion on a political topic, people like you might get a little mad. When someone doesn't pay their taxes, the government comes and arrests them.
Tax evasion's a very real big boy crime. Remember, chat, you, chat member, are not rich enough to get away with tax evasion. You can be rich enough to get away with tax evasion.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
All of us here, all of us combined here are not rich enough to avoid to get away with tax evasion. And that's actually why I submit my taxes every year to a CPA, because hey, here's all my transactions. Here's what financial institutions they went through. Here's my spreadsheet. Kind of like billing. Well, here's your sign. Here's your spreadsheet. And how much do I owe at the end of the year? Thank you very much. I don't mess with the IRS.
Integrating new PDA data.
Especially where like you can just be an adult and be like, oh, I don't care about politics.
What?
Pretty normal response. You go out to like you go out to like Wingers or Buffalo Wild Wings with your buddy. You know, hey, what do you think about this? I don't really care.
Signal
Very normal interaction.
Integrating new PDA.
What? Many people,
Integrating
most
new
people,
PDA data.
do not care that much about politics. I know to you and me that's like mind-blowing, that's like unfathomable, because our whole life is politics, our job is politics, like I get it. But most people's lives do not revolve around politics. They do other
Correct.
things other than fight with strangers online. Crazy.
You mean they work and are employed? And don't get me wrong, right? Like streaming is its own work, right? Especially when dude, I've gotten big chats during certain things, and it's work keeping up with it, right? Like we get like 20 average viewers throughout streams, and that's just not big streamer. I'm not John Big Streamer, but I enjoy the community that does come out here, and I feel like it's cultivated a very like my chat's willing to call me out when I'm wrong, right? My chat's willing to tell me when I'm taking an L, right? At the same time, they're also here because they want to be here and because they want to celebrate and because it's good background noise, whether they're working or whether they're just whatever, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's it's silly.
I know, but man, do I envy them. I was so much happier before
Yeah.
I knew. Sadly, it is getting harder and harder for the average person to not care about politics because politics is seeping into literally everything. Politics will be bending you over and spreading your cheeks and going in dry whether you want it or not. And unfortunately, the people who are like, I just want to be left alone, are the people who are the most f***ed by politics. Also, more importantly, Emeru wasn't saying that she doesn't care about politics. She was saying she didn't want to talk about politics. I feel like
you know what she did? She offended the average person by saying if you're relying on a streamer for your opinion, then maybe you need to go outside, right? Or whatever she said. Let's be real, that's why people are upset. Because she made them feel uncomfortable. I think that's interesting to think about, right? Right? Because, I mean, she could have just so easily just ignored it. She could have easily just said, I'm not talking about that today. Right? And yeah, I think a lot of it in context is because she is perceived as insulting them. Which is really funny to think about.
that is a huge difference. I care a lot about, like, skincare, but I don't get on here and talk about, like, peptides and collagen to my audience because they don't give a shit. They're here to watch me say feminism is doo-doo and make silly little faces at the camera. Yeah, you like that shit? I hate when grown women don't have a mind of their own. You are 28 years old. Please develop a mind of your own.
How many... Says the person echo chambering on Twitter.
All she does is pander to enemy Gunnar men. No mind of her own. I never liked Emeru, so finding out she's stupid and doesn't have a mind of her own is nice. The audacity! If she didn't have a mind of her own, she would have mindlessly parroted the shit you want her to say. She would have mindlessly just been like, F Ice. If Emeru came out and was like, actually, I think Ice is doing a fine job, do you think they'd be like, ah yes, she has a mind of her own? No, absolutely not. They are not angry that she doesn't have an opinion. They are angry that she doesn't have their opinion.
Ah, there we go. Uh-huh. Yep. Nope, 100% agree. And I think this does tie into insulting them to a degree as well. Yeah, because suddenly you're not in the in crowd because you don't share our values. Interesting. But what does it say about you as a person if when it mattered most you just, maybe like Aang the Avatar and just kind of vanished, right? Because, well, they didn't say the line, they didn't say the funny, right? What does that say about you as a person? What does that say about your integrity? What does that say about who you are deep down? The person who you see when you look in the mirror. It makes you a little uncomfortable and you kind of avert your eyes a little bit, right? I think that says a lot about you as a person. Raven in chat, we call you out because we know you're gonna, we call you because we know you're gonna see it and say, oh neat, I did nothing, thanks. Yeah, dude, my brain is fried after like 1,800 videos. I forget very simple things, and I feel really bad that I forget simple things. So I appreciate chat being like, hey, cool, here's the thing, right? Awesome, appreciate it. Yeah, my brain is not what it used to be.
The absolute audacity to say that this woman doesn't have a mind of her own while thousands of you people swarm her like drones, barking orders at her to say the line. You guys literally operate like the fucking Borg. So what?
On what platform again? Twitter? Interesting.
What I'm gathering is that Emeru is a grown woman who acts like a frail, silly little girl to entertain fat, dirty, incel, Asian fetisher weirdos, and is okay with that, but draws the line at saying Ice is bad. Emeru and Asmin's audience are the same. Incels love Emeru because she confirms the image of the anime bimbo stereotype that incels worship. She definitely cultivated an audience who, in the end of all things, are reactionary. She appeals to violent racists who fetishize Asian women.
What is this? What is this? What?
What the fuck is this Asian fetish thing? Are they just saying this because she's fucking Asian? Like,
I thought it was more of an anime thing, but aren't anime faces more based on cats than anything? Bro, where is it? Like, maybe this, the concept of you don't really understand madness until you actually go mad. I think this is the one. I don't think I want to understand. Because if I understood, I don't think I'd be a healthy person. I'm not a healthy person, let's be honest, right? I sit way too long on my PC, but like, bro, like, what? Where is this vitriol coming from? I don't understand the Asian one.
I'm trying to find a clip of Emeru saying sucky sucky $5 or something, but it doesn't exist. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny though.
It's not a coincidence that she answered the question this way, and that her fan base consists heavily on Asian fetishes. I don't know where this is coming from, and the woman saying this is literally an OnlyFans, like an Asian OnlyFans model.
Nice! I don't even understand. Maybe once again, if I understood, maybe, I don't know, dude. I'm just a dingus on the internet. I don't understand. It's just weird.
Like, I'm sorry, are you really the person to be talking about fetishization here? The most insane part of all of this had to be when her ex-boyfriend, her allegedly abusive ex-boyfriend posted.
As far as I'm aware, the court case is still ongoing, if there is a court case, so therefore we are having to say allegedly until findings.
His own Ice in the middle of his ex-girlfriend being canceled for not saying that. Like, how?
Oh, dude is grasping. What an L, bro. Come on. Because contextually, right, X seeing thing happen to X, therefore capitalizing on it for clout. What a loser.
How fucking petty do you have to be to subtweet your ex like that? Another character involved in all this is former booby streamer Caseytron.
It reminds me of whenever Amaranth started wearing a cowboy hat, because that's whenever she started going like full Nazi, basically.
I'm sorry, Amaranth and...
No, what?
What is happening? Bro, dude, you know, more and more I'm glad that I do what I do, and I feel like I'm pretty more grounded, all things considered, right? Dude, this is what? I apparently missed the whole arc.
She started wearing the cowboy hat. It's like whenever these Texas girls in like these Austin, Texas streamer circles start wearing cowboy hats, that's whenever you gotta watch out.
A woman in
A woman in a cowboy hat. Wait a minute. What? Wait. Are you applying this to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders if they wear hats? How does this work? What are the mechanics of this? Can I get the rule book on this? Because I'm not quite. Is it like the gay rule book where X, Y, and Z is gay? Is it gay to like women still? I don't actually know. Is it gay? Is it gay to be married to a woman? I think internet says yes, right? I think that's how that works on the modern internet.
Texas wearing a cowboy hat.
Wild.
Lord, take me out. Take me out back, behind the shed. Put me out of my misery if I ever become this politically brain rotted. Holy shit.
Like, you know that she probably has like weird incels.
Bro, this is the Sydney Sweeney Jean thing. Like, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the ad it was based on, too, was like, wasn't the original actress like 14, 16, something like that? I mean, it had its own, like, stuff, right? But this is the same group of people. I guarantee it. It's not gay if you have your boots on. I'm sorry. No, Raven's correct, okay? If you have your boots on, it's not gay. But if you have the spurs, then it's only a little gay, right?
Donating her hundreds of dollars. It's because, like, in my opinion, like, it's all a facade to appeal to the worst type of men. Because, like, really misogynistic, shitty incel-like men, they like a woman that doesn't have any opinions. I think...
I don't like people who don't have opinions in general. Like, don't get me wrong, there's like, oh yeah, we can just hang out and chill and do thing, right? Like, if I asked Raven in chat, I'm picking on Raven today. If I asked Raven in chat right now, Raven, why do you think the Marine Corps is clearly the best branch of the U.S. military? I'm sure Raven would have a response. I'm sure there'd be a really funny response associated with that because Raven being a you know, U.S. Marine, I'm sure he's biased in some way, shape, or form, right? But he has an opinion. He can express why he has the opinion. I'm sure I could ask someone else in chat. Hey, what do you think is the best branch? Someone will be like, oh, I think it's the Navy. You know, I love the Navy. Loved working on a sub full of seamen. You know, it was pretty good. Very, very, very long, very hard days of work. Right?
No.
Sorry, this is just an excuse to make military puns. Chair Force, right? Have an opinion. It's fine. If I asked somebody in chat, like, if I asked Raven, I'm like, Raven, what's your favorite branch and why is it the Marine Corps? And he's like, I don't know. How interesting is that? Right? Like there's not connection there. People with opinions is fine, and I think we need to normalize that having opinions again is fine. We can even disagree with things, right? That's a thing we can do. Just don't be weird about it. I think the thing as well that a lot of the streamers are forgetting is that rapport exists, right? And it's kind of a currency, kind of like goodwill. Like, you know, companies have said, goodwill's kind of a currency. And there are absolutely shutout points, right? Like, let's say your friend is on the Epstein list. You probably don't visit your friend anymore, right? You probably say, who? I don't know who you're talking about. I never in any way, shape, or form knew this person. I don't know what you're talking about. This person just, I don't know who they are, right? Like, there's cutaway points, but like, you build a relationship, you build that rapport, and even if you have a fight or a disagreement, right? As long as it's not cataclysmic, right? Sometimes even if it is cataclysmic, you can work through that and come to a compromise. You can grow as individuals, right? And I think that in such a transactional sphere as social media and content creation can be, I think that that's forgotten. And I think that that's, I don't want to say a lost art, but that's just, it just doesn't feel like that's how that works. Like Shuanhead's saying, you very much say the line, you agree with everything I agree with, or you're out. That's very Mean Girl. That's very High School 3.0. I can't do it, dude. I'm an adult with a functioning prefrontal cortex, or as functioning one as I can get, right? Yeah, not a fan of that.
That she also plays into how a lot of incels will fetishize Asian women. Her whole platform is just like appealing to like the worst fucking men. She's like basically like she's like a pick-me for like incel free.
Bro, there it is. The pick-me. The pick-me.
So this fucking pick-me dude. It's
Bro, she is. I used to know pick-me actually. Oh, I used to know, and it's been really funny getting people's perspectives of like, yeah, this person you used to know, very much a pick-me, very, yeah. I'm like, ah, cool, okay, this makes more sense now. Awful person. Yeah, like this just reads this almost reads like a cat fight to me. I don't know, man. Like what a
fucking komisch.
I don't know, man. I couldn't like look if I harsh on someone else. It's because they've done something, right? Generally, right? They pointed a pistol at their hand. Or, what was it? We worked to do a Code Geass video once upon a time, they called them some sort of Japanese something at the end, and I took very much disagreement with it, because it was just such a weird and inappropriate generalization to put in a video reviewing Code Geass Rose of the Recapture. And even the creator was like, yeah, I might have gone too far on that one, right? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird to me, bro.
gonna be the death of me. Before making this video, I watched a bunch of Emeru stuff, and I saw no signs of like pick-me behavior at all. At least with some streamers or some YouTubers.
Yeah.
People could be like, oh, they criticize women, so they're trying to be like one of the good ones, and they're a pick-me. Like, okay, sure, like, that's retarded. We all know that's retarded. But at least I can like kind of see how is Emeru a pick-me? She doesn't even do that. Where is the pick-me thing coming from?
As far as I'm aware, Emeru just shows up in streams. And it seems like trouble just finds her. Whether that's Ms. Kiff allegedly doing things, right? Once again, if the court case is ongoing, you know, allegedly, of course. Whether it's TwitchCon. And, oh, man, is it Dan? Dan needs to step down. Whoever the CEO of Twitch is, he needs to leave. He needs to go. That was bad.
Oh ja, Dan von Twitch muss weg.
Like, the mirror just kind of shows up.
CEO von Twitch muss
I think that's why we don't have more good people, is because the people who can be seen as positive, who can be seen as good, ultimately are affected by cancel culture.
You know,
are
Aurora,
affected by people who are just absolutely rude and unhinged, and just like you see how this it's a negative feedback loop, and it serves to reward the people who don't care or the people who are toxic to begin with.
Normally though, what makes her pick me and not the booby streamer or OnlyFans models?
We're scanning for somewhere to park.
You are literally selling your body for men to consume.
You know what? What was the price? What were we talking about the other day? Oh my God! It was one of our mods in Mod VC the other day. We were talking about something, and the topic of Feet Finder came up, just completely off the cuff from something. And one of our mods was just like, Kip, have you seen what these Feet Finder models make? And I'm like, no. And he's like, Kip, they make more than what you make. They make more than you make in like a single week, and I'm like, damn, I'm in the wrong line of work. Damn.
You are literally selling your body for men to consume.
I mean, yeah, facts. If I was a dude doing this, right, I would be selling whatever this is for people to consume. It's transactional. That's how that works.
If men do not pick pictures of your ass, you can't pay rent. There's no bigger pick-me on earth than a f***ing porn star. And me. I don't care about being called a pick-me. I've been doing this for over a decade now. I'm used to it. I've been called it thousands of times. I'm a 35-year-old married mother. I do not give a sh**. I do care, however, when other women are called pick-me for the crime of not following a hive mind.
Yeah, it's just dangerous stuff. How many of these women are also single who say this? How many of these women who engage in this, oh, they're just a pick-me and are furthering the fetishization of X buzzword of the week, and they play to a depraved audience of incels? How many of these women are single? Just curious, just asking. How many of them have had long-lasting relationship issues? And obviously, like, if they had like a partner and that partner was like a piece of work, right? That's obviously a little different, right? That's not good. How many of these, like, how many of them would have relationship issues? Just asking.
See it so often in like the VTuber community. Like all these VTuber anime women will be called pick-me's for just saying their opinions. You have to understand, like, to these people, whenever a woman has like an opinion that is not like the corporate HR approved opinion of the week, whenever a woman doesn't toe the line of the current thing, in this case, whenever a woman doesn't say anything, she's called a pick-me. You know, she just must have these opinions for men. No other reason. Everyone.
And here's the thing. That immediately it makes it lose its value, right? Because suddenly, if everyone's a pick-me, no one's a pick-me, and no one cares at that point. It's just used as the buzzword of the week to attack people.
Woman is secretly a big progressive feminist, and if they're not, they're just doing it for male attention. Because I'm sure someone who looks like this is really starving for male attention. And then
oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
Oh my god. What are we doing with our lives? It's fun. I enjoy watching Show on Head because we get to really let out all of that energy, right? We get to let out all of the frustration. And then it's fun. It's like when you work, you know, like 60 hours in a week, and you have that really good time that you spend with yourself, and then you're fine for the next like 4 days. It's fine.
In my opinion, it's like she's not
Clearly, like just eating the whole like rotisserie chicken. That's what I'm referring to.
entertaining whatsoever. She's like, I would literally rather watch paint dry.
So true, because you know,
I'd rather watch paint dry than whoever this is, if I'm being honest. The mic feels like it's peaking and capping at a high level. Their audio could use some work. I think there's a little bit of an echo, so their space isn't as soundproof as it could have been. Once again, I'm a little bit of an audio snob because I've talked to my podcast co-host Homestar, because he used to do pretty big boy audio stuff. Still does big boy audio stuff, right? I'm turning into a little bit of an audio snob, so that might be a me thing.
it is far more entertaining than a cute, high-energy cosplay streamer reacting to memes. This is way more entertaining.
Give it the steak eye, bro. Yeah.
And if you don't agree, you're just like an incel. Eventually, after a few days of being dogpiled by the most annoying people on Earth, Emaru came out with a statement. Hello, it's very rare I can speak my mind, but I'd rather get my thoughts out there, so apologies if this is long. There's a clip from my stream that's been circulating a lot, so I'd like to explain it for anyone who was hurt or shocked by it.
Oh, please tell me this is a bait and switch. Please tell me that it's going to refer to the thing, but it's going to be a different thing entirely. Please tell me this is going to be a troll.
It should go without saying that no one deserves to live their life in fear of being killed or taken away from their homes or families, regardless of who is doing it, but especially not because of ICE or any other government agency. I understand the world is a very cruel and messed up place. You don't have to study politics or actively read the news to know that. I would never want to invalidate anyone who struggles with those things, and an agency causing fear and suffering deserves zero support. To me, that's not even political. It's basic human ethics.
I would argue it's a weird one, right? Like the fact that she feels like she even has to say something like this. This feels pretty common sense, right? Whether it's an organization in the U.S., whether it's an organization in Yemen, Qatar, like anywhere across the world, right? Could be Burkina Faso, right? Right, or is that Myanmar now? Burkina Faso is, I'm sorry, I get my geography confused. Burkina Faso is in Africa. What became Myanmar? Burma, that's what I was getting confused. Burma became Myanmar. Or vice versa. Dude, I can't remember. I've binged some history at one point. It doesn't matter where it is in the world. Like, this is a pretty common sense take. I hate that it feels like she was bullied to make a statement. And yeah, it's PR. And here's the thing, it's going to be criticized for being too PR. by the same people who criticized her for not saying something. This is bass backwards, my guy.
Now, I thought that statement was perfectly fine.
Sure.
My issue with it is she didn't have to make it. She was basically forced to come out and say her opinion. So did these freaks finally back off once Emerald made her opinion about ICE clear?
Was ist scheiße sein?
No. Of course not. Nazi response.
This is the equivalent of me paragraphing a response, like a well thought out response to a question or something. Like if somebody's like, Kip, you know, I don't necessarily agree with your take on video game accessibility being tied to difficulty. And then I read out a whole paragraph response on why I think something is good. And they just like, Lamau. Why did I just write an essay for you? Like, what? It's why I've stopped writing essays. Here it is. It's a PR apology. Oh my god, bro. I'm so glad I don't go on Twitter anymore. I'm glad. I'm very glad that I just hopped off. This platform is a cesspool. Any way you look at it.
PR, go fuck yourself and your PR apology.
Gut, dass ich
And
kein
there it
Twitter-Account
is.
habe.
Of fucking course, she's another dumb.
Oh, not the funny word.
Girl, we are not as dumb as you look. You're still a racist chud, but continue to enjoy the money you get from your incel audience because they're disgusting, just like you. All I hear is, I support Israel and my name is Emery. Wait, what?
What?
Where the f did Israel come from? What?
Dude, these people aren't actually real. These people are bots. They have to be. These people aren't real. No rational person is making these. It is buzzword to buzzword to buzzword, right? Like they're just chaining buzzwords together. Like what?
I don't like to talk about politics because I'm a Nazi and I'm ashamed of my opinions. Everyone knows what's up. She's a fascist in disguise and is squirming. Emeru, you are garbage Nazi-loving You got orange around your mouth. Say F you, Asmongold. If you're neutral, if you're neutral, you might as well say you're MAGA. Stand for something, ho.
What does this even mean? Dude, no sane person is writing this.
That's what Trump wants, for everyone to be quiet about it. The idea of get off the internet is so fucking ignorant. This dumb cunt needs to shut her fucking mouth. Thank God her—
Get off the internet! When is getting off the internet seen as a bad thing? Like what? It's the perfectly healthy and reasonable thing. Bro, these people need help.
Downfall is happening. I've been hating on her since day one and knew something was off about her.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I got bad vibes from her, and now I can justify my bias because now there's a thing that I can point to and say, see?
Good statement. She implicitly disavowed ICE, but not so much the actual Trump admin. Yeah, you disavowed ICE, but what about the Trump administration?
See, here's the thing, though, and that's the thing. If you mention the thing, now you're pushed into doing more of the thing. You see how the peer pressure continues?
They're like literally the mouse from the People the Mouse equipment. I was like reading that with my toddler the other day, and I was like, oh my god, this is literally Twitter. You cannot—
Truly a literary masterpiece of its time.
Give them an inch. Of course are incel fans swooping in to protect the poor little 28-year-old. Ah yes, incels. Known for defending women online.
You know, these are the same people, these people are the same two people that have accused me of soul and valor in videos. And notice that neither of those people really wanted to, like, proverbially put it up right. When it came down to it, they wanted to back away and shy away, and they didn't actually want to defend that stance. They just wanted to say, Kim, you're stealing valor, you're guilty of stolen valor. To which, if that ever happens again, you will not redact that sentence. You will not redact that. I will put you on blast for every single person to see. And, yeah, follow it up. Like we're going to follow through. Show your receipts.
Integrating new PDA data.
Bitch.
I try to be transparent in what I do. So when somebody comes out of the woodwork and they're just so out there, like that is mental illness out there. People need to be held accountable. Like they have to. That can't be allowed to continue. That can't be allowed to be okay, right? Right? I don't know, dude. These people are so out there. These are 1%.
Integrating new PDA data.
Does the word incel even mean anymore? Does it mean man now? It just means man. Man I do not like. I had no idea this was a thing until yesterday. How come no one told me Emeru low-key a femcel? Femcel! Emerus a femcell. Oh my. Do people just not know what words mean anymore?
No, they really don't. Words have become concepts that change their meaning on the week, right? That's why I make fun of the word woke constantly, because it never has a strict definition. Everyone has a different definition for it. And anytime I hear it in conversation, I just tune it out, because it's just not worth my time.
How are they coming to these conclusions? I mean, have you looked at her? I mean, look at her. Look at her. Just look at her. Look at her. Yes.
Yes, that is most certainly, and a woman. Something that I know a lot of Twitter users are greatly afraid of. Maybe even allergic to in some cases.
Sorry, I don't see it. I think you guys just might be mentally ill. We need to do something about these male-centered women. Okay, first of all...
What does that even mean?
What the fuck?
What?
Was heißt... What? Was heißt das überhaupt?
What does that even mean?
Nothing is more male-centered than
Integrate
centering your
new
life around
PDA
hating
data.
Men just live rent-free in your fucking head. Take it up with God. Go to therapy. Do literally anything else than make it our problem.
I used to know someone who was very much, very in the camp of, you know, I think, at least as I understood them, very, you know, men evil kind of thing, right? They had very poor opinions of men. To which, I mean, I asked him once upon a time, like, so if you don't like men, that means you're going to have to only like women, right? You're going to be a lesbian. They didn't like that. They didn't like when I said that. I mean, if you don't like men, I mean, you should like only women, right? Like, you shouldn't have a relationship with men. Suddenly they don't like answering the question. They don't want to continue that line of questioning. So what is that? From the male perspective, right? Like, I'm trying to rationalize that, right? Like, obviously, like, you can't really choose identity, right? You like who you like. That's just how that works, right? If you're so like, oh yeah, men are evil, men are scum, but you continue to date men, like, I guess I don't understand. Like, what is the logic going on here?
Yeah,
right? How could, like, it's a strange one to me. I don't actually understand that thought process. If they don't like men, why do they associate with you? If you think all men are evil, which is a hyperbolic end of that curve, right? If you think all men are evil, like, why would you continue to even associate with them, right? Why? I mean, we've seen this happen, right? Hey, I don't feel comfortable with my male coworker, and then, you know, reasonable accommodation can kick in, and then suddenly you're working with an all-female team or whatever, right? What happens if you happen to be a person who thinks all men are evil, or, you know, who doesn't like men, but then you happen to do some not so legit things, like maybe, you know, rope your coworker or something, or your roommate, right? And then your roommate gets mad at you, and then you start crying. And that's the thing, right? It's like women do things to women too that aren't okay. You used to have a friend. She had a female roommate in college or whatever who was getting a little too handsy. Her being a 6'3" Amazon was just like, well, Amazon technically, 6'3" Amazon just pinned her against the wall and said, "You will never do that again," and she starts crying. So I just, maybe I'm equating two unlike things, but it feels so strange, right? Like, I mean, that's one of the biggest L's I ever did. And I'm open about it. One of the biggest L's I ever did was getting to the point after one of the Shoe and Hood videos where I'm like, I don't think I should react to women anymore. I think that it would be a step too far if I made someone feel uncomfortable, which is a massive overcorrect, and that's not a healthy stance to take. You know what happened? People in my chat called me out. People in my comment section called me out about it. They're like, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, this is pretty dumb. One of the biggest L's I have ever taken, right? It's just, it's not, these decisions aren't made from a place of being healthy, right? And some things can happen because, you know, let's say a woman has had, bad past in relationships with men, right? And, men just keep finding the winners, put it that way. Yeah, and that's going to bias an opinion. There's valid reasons to have mistrust and distrust, right? Like, yeah, that's trauma and working through and resolving trauma and coping with trauma, right? Like, if you're, down with the patriarchy, you as a man are just benefiting off of centuries of patriarchy and the system, right? Okay. I didn't write the laws. I didn't write it. And that just bases your whole worldview. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's made from a place of being entirely stable. And that, that just comes across to me as that in itself is the red flag, right? The people who say, oh, this is a red flag, this is a red flag, this is a red flag, by their own actions give you the red flag that you just telegraphs, okay, I need to make sure I really curate my interactions with this person. You hit sliding on ice, then drifting one way, then even further the other way. You figured it out. I mean, no, it was an L. It was one of the biggest L's I've ever taken, and I don't think I'll ever fully recover from. It was bad. And I enjoy people like Shenpai. I enjoy Shionhead for pointing out things. We laugh at these things for an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. However long we laugh at these things, we laugh at these things. It is. I can say it is so stupid to just cut someone out based on a factor they can't control, right? Let's use the Unsubscribed Podcast's own wisdom, right? If you have a sentence, you replace it with any one word, and it's not problematic. Maybe, or what was it? If you have a sentence and you replace a single word in the sentence and suddenly it's problematic, maybe the concept as a whole is problematic, right? So I had to remember how it went, right? If I replaced, I'm not going to react to women anymore. I'm not going to react to men anymore. I'm not going to react to trans individuals anymore, right? I'm not going to react to non-binary individuals anymore. You see how the core concept is flawed? That you're doing something really stupid by just alienating a portion of people. Like, it's just stupid. What else are you willing to alienate if you're willing to do that, right? Are you willing to, well, I'm not going to react to black creators anymore. I'm not going to react to Asian creators. You see how dumb that is? How absolutely stupid the core concept is? So yeah, I think that was one of the best Unsubscribed Podcast episodes I've ever watched. Eli actually spitting some Sun Tzu wisdom there with that quote.
And especially her bestie Asmongold. I hope they get cursed. 30-year-old woman too scared to say fuck guys and her incel audience happy. Let's hope she gets abused again. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Yes, this one right here. Report that one. Twitter comment section. Like that has to be reportable, dude. Like that is actively wishing harm on somebody. I as somebody who's been through abuse, somebody who's been through being hit, I don't wish it on anyone else. I don't. That is a level of, I wouldn't even say depravity. It is a level of not understanding that no one should put up with.
Next time this contest is sorted, I'm gonna laugh and laugh. F her and f Ice and f you if you support this.
Awful.
Emerald deserved what Miskiff did to her. Emerald for supporting Ice. I genuinely hope this bitch gets. Oh, okay.
No.
I reported that one.
Good. Yeah, as anyone should. That. It's you can't let that. Oh, but my free speech. Okay, but you're actively advocating for somebody on a platform that is actually technically private. So if you want to make the 1A argument, make sure you read the terms of service and understand that it is a private platform that is controlled and beholding to moderators, moderator staff, moderator bots, and AI. That ain't the public, my guy. That's social media, but it is still a private platform.
Holy sh**. What is wrong with these people? See, you don't understand. I'm good guy, which makes it okay for me to say f***ed up things about bad guy. You think saying that to someone is f***ed up? Well, you should be f***ed too, because you're probably also bad guy. It's called being on the right side of history, Chud. Look at
this is very much the ends justify the means, and that philosophy itself has many, many holes.
Nazis deserve death, and silence is compliance.
There is. Silence is violence, Kyle. Dude, I'm referencing South Park a lot this one.
May I just remind the audience that this is what she said.
if you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
That one right there. The fact that all of this spawned from that, bro. People wonder why a lot of us are stressed and burnt out. Like, actually though, look, I'm 30 years old, okay? Emery's what, 28? Should have 35. We're not your babysitters, okay? If I have to babysit you, you're paying me, okay? I'm getting some dino nuggies, okay? Dude, like, oh my God. And these are the same platforms that, you know, something, well, we default you to the child category, default you to the category of you being 12 to 17 years old, and you have to show us that you're an adult. Bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. I hate modernity.
Ladies and gentlemen, a Nazi that deserves death. What? After making her terrible statement full of lies, Emeru decided to follow right-wing grifters shoe on her.
These people can't read the minds. You know what? If Shuon had followed my Twitter account tomorrow, I'd see that as a win. I'd see that as an absolute win, man. Like, I don't understand this, bro. Like, dude, these people are not mentally well.
Of course, Emeru is now following a fellow pathetic pick-me for being quiet about ICE. They both don't want to piss off their 100% right-wing gooner fan.
I mean, literal hyperbole, bro. I'm in the fuck all y'all party. I make my own decisions. I come to my own conclusions. I gather what things I need, and I don't vote based on party, because that's dumb. Are you a person who is worth the vote? Are you a person who is, you know, going to do good things, or even the things that are just, you know, in benefit, right? Once again, where's my politician campaigning for repealing the full auto ban in the 80s? Oh. Crickets. Nice. I don't know. Maybe Brandon Herrera's campaigning on that. I don't know. I don't follow his campaign, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, this is silly to me.
For the record, my fan base is probably like 70% right-wing and 80% gooner. Okay, but for some reason...
And 80% gooner.
They didn't mind when I came out and harshly criticized ICE in my last video. Yes, some disagreed, but for the most part, they didn't care. As long...
Yeah, there were some people who disagreed. I mostly just laugh at them, right? And I'm just like, yeah, if you do a thing, grats, make an example of somebody, right? But then again, you have to understand, I'm also in a very black and white category of like, so the army, right? Going back to the army guy, army person stole $200,000 from the food fund. Why isn't he getting publicly lashed? However, reasonably so, and I've talked to military personnel on that, people can't handle that. People shouldn't be able to handle that. They shouldn't. There's a reason why we don't call for these kinds of things, and why there are punishments and penalties that aren't someone who, yes, committed fraud, right? Stealing $200,000 from the Army Food Fund. But you have to think about it, right? Outside the initial anger response, why don't we do things like this, right? There are proper punishments and procedures. It might not be what we want to see, but when we start doling out things like that, there has to be a very good reason for things like that. And even then, it's not something that people should handle. And yeah, it should not be the standard. It needs to be, that would have to very specific, if it was still in military doctrine to be able to do public lashings or like lashings, that would very much have to be controlled and very much have to be reviewed by multiple people. I don't know. I'm certain that it no longer exists in the military, at least in an official capacity, right? I'm certain that things like that are, you know, that trial by combat, I know, is actually illegal as far as I'm aware. You cannot challenge your superior officer to a duel, right? Things like that. Like, there's actual military law for this, for things like this. No, there's things that past the initial anger response are very apparent why we don't do certain things.
I actually criticized ICE in my last video. Yes, some disagreed, but for the most part, they didn't care. As long as you aren't preaching from an ivory tower with no nuance, rhyme, or reason, people don't care. I'll say some shit like, we should decommodify housing, and the right-wingers... And my audience are just like, okay, call me mommy. These people cannot fathom a universe where people just disagree. Oh, you're just scared. You don't want to upset your chud audience. I upset my chud audience every goddamn day.
You know, Shionhead saying this makes me feel a little better about myself, because I'm always worried that I offend like everyone who watches me. And then I remember, I think very much the audience is a reflection of the creator. I think we all just don't care. I think we're all 20 some odd, 30 some odd, 40 some odd people, most of us, right? We just don't care. We're just gonna hang out, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna laugh at things. Sometimes it gets a little dark, sometimes it gets a little funny, but I don't think any of us really care. Yeah. This gives me more confidence and maybe thinking it's an algorithmic thing. To be fair, people have said that, like, I guess my stuff doesn't pop in their feed. So I guess there is potentially certain algorithmic things. Maybe I'm just not hitting certain metrics for the algorithm to push me right. I don't like defaulting to that logic because, like, it feels very like I'm blaming something else rather than my shortcomings, right? You're mentally deficient if you actively watch something you hate. That too, yeah. Hate watching. It's a 50 soul. I feel excluded. I'm sorry, Bald Ruminant. You get the special exception. You get the award. But like, just bro, we don't fucking care, dude. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you. We just come here of our own volition and we have fun, right? And that's really what it comes down to. I think there's something special about that.
You're the ones terrified of your own fucking cult. God forbid you only agree with 99% of the hive mind approved opinions. God have mercy on your soul. I do not envy you. Once you bend the knee to these people, once you apologize or capitulate, it's over. These people don't actually want an apology. They want to humiliate you. They want to drag you down. At the end of the day, they have found a socially acceptable way to bully people. That's what this is. A lot of people in response to Emeru's statement were like, why did you apologize to the mob? You know, you bent the knee, you're a coward. And honestly, people don't realize how insane it is. These
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I mean, even from my small level, it's insane when I post something that's unpopular, right? Anytime I mention something, Brandon Herrera flagging himself. Reasonably so, because it is a little bit beating a dead horse, right? It is. I will admit that. Very much one of those things that, you know, it upsets people. And it upsets, I would argue, a fragile worldview on what firearms ownership should be. Which is also a little sad in its own right, because I don't even feel like I'm some weird hot take, but it feels like firearms and professionality is long just out the window. And it makes me sad. It really does. Maybe a range day with the military would actually help that. I wonder if you can actually do that. I'm sure the military has events like that. Range day with the military. Maybe that would help. Yeah, I agree with what she's saying though. I agree.
People, the cult of the cry bully, they come in swarms, they get in your head, they prey on your empathy, they isolate you from your friends, they make you feel like a terrible person for having milquetoast normal ass opinions, or in this case, no opinion.
I agree with Raven. We'll stop beating that dead horse when he unflags himself. Yeah, no, I agree with that one. But here's the thing, though, is realistically, I need to step off just a bit, let off the gas just a bit. And like I've said, I just don't watch his content anymore. I want to watch someone who's professional. Let's Sparks in chat. Disagree with half your takes, but you're funny and respectful, can't be it. I'm glad I come across respectful. I feel like I come across like a C word, because I can't say the word because of YouTube. I feel like I come across as an absolute just jerk. So I'm glad that I feel like I'm in some way, shape, or form respectful.
And when you are someone who is not used to dealing with these types of people, or if you are someone in like a vulnerable state of mind, it is very easy for these cult-like tactics to work. This works especially well with women in particular, not to be sexist, but it's just true. Honestly,
I think it's fair for her to say this though. I think it's fair.
You know, now that I think about it, the only people who are immune to this are like autistic people.
You have to understand. Having dealt with narcissists, having dealt with just awful people, my tolerance for this stuff is very low. It's why I will absolutely snap on it when people try to do stuff like this to me. Like when they'll try to just, you know, cult tactic, you know, hate mob or whatever, right? Like, you know, I don't like that you're reacting to military conduct as a civilian. You're engaging in stolen valor. Oh, really now? Let's have a chat about this. And so they notice they back off, right? Because they're not used to that pushback. Like, if you want to have a chat about how I'm quote-unquote stealing valor, I'm all ears, my guy. We can have this discussion, and you will be publicly humiliated when you actually like, oh wait, no, you're actually, you're not, you're being transparent that you're a civilian. My bad, right? Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I swear to God, people on the spectrum are immune to the cry bully tactics.
We just don't care. See, here's the thing, right? I as
do
an
not
neurotypical, or sorry, I as an neurodivergent, neurospicy individual, if you will, apparently can read the room better than normal, quote-unquote, people, which is really strange to me still, despite me feeling like I don't really read the room a lot. I just don't care, right? So if somebody comes across to me and it's like, you know, Kip, I don't really agree with your take on a lot of firearms. You know, firearms very much are a right. They're very much, you know, a case-by-case basis. You know, everyone has their own perspectives. I see nothing wrong with, you know, a father giving his 9-year-old his SIG P226. You know, I see nothing wrong with this. To which I respond, yeah, guns are cool. That's stupid. If he flags you or sets it off, my guy, you're in some trouble, right? It's like, or, you know, Kips, you know, sometimes people have a bad day. You know, they want to go to the range to cool down, and sometimes they just forget the range rules a little bit. Sometimes, you know, especially knowing that the range is very much closed case going to the front bench, sometimes maybe they put, you know, one too many guns on the front bench and they step over that yellow line while the range is hot. You know, you have to be more understanding. To which I respond, you know, it's a right after all. To which I respond, that's dumb. That's a skill issue. That person needs to be ejected from the range. Right? Like, sure, I could play into the bit. I could say, yeah, we should be a little more understanding. At the same time, if you're going to a public range, expectation is you know generally what you're doing, right? One mess up, okay, whatever. Don't put your toe in front of the line. Don't try to reach down and grab brass, right? Whatever. If I hear 3 times in a day the same thing, we need to start ejecting people, okay? People need to start getting their range privileges revoked, because that's actually stupid, right? And that's the thing, is like, mob mentality would absolutely beat that out of people, right? And it's, people are allowed to make mistakes, which they are. People need grace, which they are. But they use it in a way that's weaponized for you to be beaten into compliance, right? So here's the thing. Own. I don't care. I don't care if you got a Giggle Switch M249B. I literally do not care. You show up to the range and you mess up, go away. Like, I'm using this as an example because it's something I've covered extensively, and applying it to this subject, right? It's not letting that cult mentality, it's not letting that cult peer pressure take over, and having an opinion and being firm with your opinion. I argue, if nothing else, I have been consistent in my firearm take since day one, right? If you go, you set up to shoot, you mess up once. Nope. Put that away, go to the car, I will deal with you later, right? Done. Like in a dad to his child, right? That kind of thing, right? I argue, if nothing else, I have been consistent. And I think that consistency can also be seen as something that people find scary, and that people can even find coming across as aggressive, right? Because if you're so entrenched into it, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say Raven was in my position, right? And he saw somebody at the like he saw his buddy at the range, which his buddy would never do, let's be honest, right? Let's say he saw his buddy at the range flag somebody, right? He's also gonna get angry. Raven is military, right? He has that training, and I'm sure many other people in chat, if they saw their friend at the range being an absolute idiot and flagging people, they would also get upset, right? And yeah, that one is kind of escalated because you need to make sure to get the firearm pointed in the safe direction. You need to make sure to resolve it and then de-escalate, right? That's a little bit more of a charge situation, but it can come across technically as aggressive because you come from a place of knowledge, you come from a place of knowing, and that person is viewing it very much as overbearing and aggressive. And it's I don't know. It's a weird intersection there, right? Like, you get what I'm saying, right? Even if you're in the right, and even if you're not in the right, even if you're like kind of right, but you have your firm opinion, people can see that as aggressive. To which I respond to that, fuck 'em. If you know that you shouldn't be flagging people and you catch your buddy who knows better flagging someone, okay, you're probably gonna have a talking to him, right? And he's probably gonna feel like shit after, right? That's simple as, right? Have an opinion. It's okay to have opinions. It's okay to even be wrong and then go, I'm sorry, new understanding, new information, my opinion was incorrect. Thank you for clarifying. That's how being an adult works. Grats.
What happened is Emeru just saw like a shit ton of people who were mad at her, and she wanted to do the correct thing. Unfortunately, this is just gonna make it worse. And they're moving on to one of their favorite tactics.
The big question in everyone's mind is, well, are you still friends with Asmongold?
While it is appreciated that you are taking a stand and clarifying the clip, you do continue to be vague about how deep your associations with Asmon are. So
it's a weird one. I don't really talk about Asmongold. I honestly haven't even watched him since, what was it? Was it his thing on, was it his statement on how jihad works? I'm keeping it vague on purpose. And I will also not be going deeper into it other than I asked, teacher buddy, hey, you teach history. This is the quote in question. What's your opinion on it? And I got, this is the perspective from, actual history teacher on like, this is what the statement is. This is how it's being perceived from a generalized perspective. This is how this actually worked. That's as deep as I'm going on that subject. Personally, I haven't watched him after that. I mean, I don't know. I don't really watch React content, if I'm being honest. I do React content, but I don't actually watch React content, if that makes sense. So we're in different spheres entirely, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those, like, I just don't really have an opinion, question mark. It's whatever. Like, he exists. I don't know. I like more educated people to watch, if that makes sense, right? Why I like the Fat Electrician, right? I'm sure he disagrees with a lot of things I say, right? I'm still gonna say, hey, the man at least does his research and he puts out good videos, right? It's the adult thing to do. It's the reasonable thing to do. Yeah, and this is where I've actually come back a bit as well with association, right? From a business standpoint, you do have to look at liability. You do have to look at, association, right? Like if somebody, I don't know, like Ezra Miller, right? How many people were in Hollywood are casting Ezra Miller, and then Ezra Miller did whatever Ezra Miller did, and suddenly, no one wants to touch it, right? Same concept, right? Like, yes, you have to worry about association, but like, unless you do something like really egregious, and I'm not saying what Asmongold did was necessarily the smartest, right? In whatever his statement was. I genuinely don't remember what the statement was. I don't really care anymore, right? Like, I just watch other people. I don't know. It's just, I see why association matters. I do think that there is a hyperbolic aspect to this on social media, though, where association is being used as a death sentence, when in most cases it shouldn't, right? Once again, if your friend just so happened to know a guy named Jeffrey Epstein, and you find out that he knew some guy named Jeffrey Epstein, maybe you don't talk to that friend anymore, right? Pretty reasonable.
Oh, hopefully you've cut ties with that hate-mongering Nazi troll Asmon, right? Glad you made this and owned up to it, but you're still friends with Asmongold, so it doesn't read as earnest. Almost a decent explanation. But the elephant in the room is that your friendship with Asmongold is holding this back from seeming sincere. Okay, now what about your best friend Asmongold? Denounce Asmon or I'm not taking this seriously.
Who are you to demand?
We're friends with Assmold.
I'm pretty sure she's still friends with Asmongold.
Is this Hassan? Dude, anytime I see Hassan, he just puts me on edge. I don't know what it is.
Now, whatever you think of Asmongold, he is friends with Emeru. They are friends, even though they disagree with each other. Crazy, right?
Weird! It's almost like we spent almost 2 hours talking about just that.
I literally said, like, I don't agree with the things he says. Like, what do y'all want me to do? Like, f***ing shoot him on stream?
Yes, that is
that's what they want.
What they want you to do.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Around
it very much is like It's an audience of monkeys laughing at like cymbals being clapped together. Very much so.
2018, I was facing nearly daily harassment for being friends with someone who was on the right. Hundreds of people were on my ass like every day. They were calling my job. They got emails of my family members. It was like non-stop. Now, this person was a good friend of mine, but in order to get all these people off my back, I did probably the cringiest thing ever, and I publicly disavowed them.
See, here's the thing: is when you do that, you have to be, you have to be on point with that, right? And I've said it. I've said I disagreed with Bao's whole. It was Bao supporting Emiru, reasonably so. I got upset with the wording specifically because clearly it's all male streamers that are the problem. And at that point, you know, it's like whatever. I'm just going to take the full L here. Bao is absolutely in the Bao the Whale is unequivocally in the right. Anything I say is absolutely incorrect. We should be taking her as saying the correct thing, right? And that's how I resolved it, right? Because I just wanted to be done with it. When you do something like that, you not only sever any potential of talking to that person, but also anyone associated with them. You know who people in the VTuber community all talk with, especially on the upper end, right? They all talk to each other. So let's say hypothetically, you say something about not liking Fifi doing spicy posts on Twitter. Well, I mean, how many people talk to Fifi VTuber? And you know, that's not really, it's not to say that it's like this weird like cabal, right? But like, just be respectful, especially in the VTuber community where everyone is tied together, right? Everybody knows each other, right? Heavenly streams with Atreya, who streams with Fruit VTuber, Apricot, right? Who streams with Girl DM. It's a whole network, right? Who streams with Cottontail VA, who streams with Project Melody, who streams with Silverveil, right? And yeah, you know, relationships change over the years, but generally, if you're a big VTuber, you're well connected, right? Buff Up knows Project Melody, knows Girl DM, knows, and I'm sure, I mean, this applies to other things as well, right? I'm sure this applies with political VTubers. I'm sure this applies with, you know, insert thing here, right? Multiple gun channels know each other, same concept, right? That's just how that works. If you're going to disavow somebody, especially like I've done with Brandon Herrera and him flagging himself, you're already aware of the consequences. That even having issue with this will shut you out of anything related to firearms content. Even if it's the morally correct thing to do. Even if I didn't go super hyperbolic about it, and I was very much just like, you know, yeah, I disagree with it. Like, even having that criticism will shut you out of things. And that's just a thing you have to understand about the industry, a thing you have to understand about the sphere, right? I very much will come on stream, like I said earlier, and take issue with veterans not getting their benefits, for absolute just loons being awarded military rank, even though they're tech pros. And I have issue with that. And I'll be consistent about that. I don't do it for brownie points. I do it because, hey, this is a thing that I'm tangentially, you know, related to, military topics, military conversation, and I'll talk about it. But, I mean, think about that, right? Do you think, reasonably so, after everything that has happened, I would ever have any conversation with any of those individuals? No. So, when you disavow someone, you have to understand that it's like someone said earlier, freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. You can say the thing, but that is going to follow you, and you don't come back from that.
Aurora, we're approaching the planet.
Disavowed a friend of mine over political differences.
Well, it's better
now,
than
for
the
those of you who are new here, that sounds like something I would never do.
It'll take
but
us
I
a
did
couple
it.
of
I
days
bent
to
the knee
align our
to
orbit.
a
Should be able to
faceless mob
establish
of
direct
people who
contact
hate,
with you during
and in
that
return
time.
I received
Then we're coming in
nothing.
again.
The harassment didn't stop, the hate didn't stop.
Don't
Well,
leave us
needless
waiting.
to say, karma is real, and the same thing happened to me years later. I was publicly disavowed by friends over political differences. This story ultimately does have a good ending. Me and my friend from 2018, we made up years ago, but looking back on all this in 2026 is extremely embarrassing. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have just told those people to go fuck themselves. But in the moment, it's incredibly stressful, and you just kind of want it all to stop. And you will do whatever you can to make it stop. So I understand why Emiru came out and made a statement. I just really hope she doesn't wind up disavowing friends over political differences. like I did, it was a huge mistake and it is not worth it. Because you're going to find yourself surrounded by people who see you as a temporary ally and not a real friend.
There it is. There it is. They're disingenuous. Support is performative.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not a never apologize person. You should apologize if you actually do something wrong, if you actually wronged someone. But you shouldn't apologize to like a nebulous, faceless mob of people while facing down a barrel of a gun. There is nothing that she could say and no amount of money she could donate that could convince me she's not a soulless ghoul like all the men she's happily surrounded herself with for years. There is nothing you could ever do to please these people, so why bother? They will not be happy until you kill yourself, and even then they will dance on your grave.
Yeah, true.
And I know, like, with everything going on right now, like, is this really a video about cancel culture in 2026? And it's like, yeah, I don't know. First of all, you should expect that. You clicked on a shoe on a head video. But second of all, yeah, I feel like this is kind of important to talk about. I feel like this type of thing is part of the reason we are where we are right now. This type of stuff drives people away from the left. And more importantly than that, it's just evil. I
don't even think it's necessarily a political thing. Like, I get the framing of this. I mean, it's just a person thing in general, right? Like, you see this in all aspects of life, whether it's politics, whether it's, you know, other things. It could be as simple as a game you all play, right? I mean, yes, I understand the framing. In this context, I understand what's being said. But this is definitely a greater problem than just on the political front.
Some leftists covering Emaru being canceled, and they were like, the cultural shift is here. Woke 2.0, we don't play around, we're mean now. Woke 2.0, because Woke 1.0 worked out so well for you guys in the country, right? You're supposed to learn from your mistakes, not double down and get worse. I don't know how you can look at the last 10 years and be like, we have got to get more annoying. Like, what are you doing? Attacking normie streamers for not wanting to be involved in political discourse? Also, I feel like this goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm not smearing, like, the left as a whole, okay? This isn't Fox News. This isn't the Nuxanor channel. I'm well aware.
I heard something about that recently. I can't be bothered to look into it. Someone said Nux did something again. I'm just like, dude, I don't know. I'm too tired to keep up with things on the internet. I don't know if I care. If that makes sense. We're in completely different fields.
There are plenty of left-wing people, especially in my audience, who feel the same way I do. I'm talking about a certain faction of the mostly online left. I was about to say it's like a loud minority, but I don't even think it's a minority anymore. I think it's like a majority. Like, I feel like I'm one of the only ones like holding down the fort. Like me and Anna Kasparian. And every day I'm called a right-wing grifter for being like, hey, maybe we can focus on the issues that like actually affect the working class. You know, things that actually help people, not stupid fucking shit like going after e-girl cosplay streamers. Like, can we just get back to the fact that we are all being ruled by satanic billionaire pedophiles who may or may not be eating children, please?
Nice.
Thank you. In conclusion, Emaru did nothing wrong. People are tired of having politics shoved down their throat, and you don't need to speak about things you don't want to speak about.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
I don't have to react to a show and head video. I like screaming into the void for 90 minutes.
Have to say the line, actually. This is mass psychosis, rivaling on 2020. These people are trying to socially ostracize this woman for not putting like a black square on her Instagram. They're just mad at Emaru for not doing like the ice bucket challenge or something. Like, that's basically what is happening here. If you are going to streamers for political information, you are cooked. If you are going to Shoe on Head for political information, you are deep fried. So
like deep fried Twinkie.
so that was that little video. If you liked my yapping, please subscribe, and if you can, donate to my Patreon down below. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.
Well, we screamed into the void for about 2 hours. It felt good. Hopefully we all got that out. We all had a fun time with this. Oh, excuse me, big stretch. What a wild time to be alive, honestly, when individuality is being quashed for the hive mind. But you know, it was good. It was good to sit here for about a couple hours, and it was good to you know, just kind of let it all out. Your regularly scheduling meme posting and stuff will resume soon. I think it's important to do. I don't know. I do these videos. Seems like some people like the reactions I do to this. I also like watching show and head videos, so it's kind of a good way to do a longer video. We all scream into the void, and then we go, okay, we had our time, and now we move on to other things, right? It's important to be informed. Yeah, it's important to know what's going on. What can you fix? What can you...
My boyfriend of 6 months tattooed my name across his chest as his way of showing his commitment to me. But instead of making me feel romantic and loving towards him, it really made me uncomfortable. And now I really don't know what to do from here. Here's what's going on. Okay, so my boyfriend and I are in our early 20s, and this is my first serious relationship. Lately, I've been asking him for more commitment. Not anything extreme like marriage, but practical things, such as introducing me to his family and his friends, and having clearer conversations about the future instead of keeping things vague. For my birthday, instead of getting me a gift or planning something, he surprised me by tattooing my name on his chest. It's his first and only tattoo.
Shit.
I have finally listened to all of you. After many requests, we are finally reviewing Tasting History with Max Miller. And if any of you haven't seen his channel, go check it out after seeing this video. Now, let's get started.
Pop quiz hotshot. What's the Pope's favorite pizza topping? I actually don't know. But in 1570, it might have been rosewater and sugar. And that's what we're making today. A 16th century Italian pizza served in the papal court, which calls for exactly those ingredients.
Rosewater and sugar. Oh, this is completely different than what we typically think of a pizza today. I mean, this seems more like a little sugar pie, doesn't it?
So this recipe comes from the Opera di Bartolomeo Scappi. The entire book is filled with recipes that are quintessentially Italian Renaissance, that kind of mixture of sweet and spice that our palate might just be like, what? And this one is no different. Per fare pizza sfogliata ad un altro modo. Another way to prepare flaky pizza. Bring together 3 pounds of fine flour and 2 ounces of yeast starter, 4 ounces of breadcrumb that is soaked in warm water, and enough salt. When the dough is made, let it rest, covered in a warm place to rise, as is done with bread. Then knead it again on the table for a half hour, adding in little by little 2 pounds of fresh butter.
Fresh butter? When you think of pizza Italian, you think of olive oil, not butter.
Knead until all of the butter has been worked into the dough and it has become soft. Split the dough up into 2 or 3 pieces, and with each piece, make the pizza in a torte pan, which has fresh butter in it. Bake it in an oven with melted butter on top. Make several holes on top with the tip of a knife so it will not puff up too much. When it is nearly done, sprinkle with sugar and rose water. This pastry should be baked slowly and serve it hot. So does that sound at all like a pizza to you?
No, it doesn't. It honestly sounds more like a pastry or a pie.
But frankly, the definition of pizza is kind of weird. I mean, look at Chicago-style pizza. It's basically soup.
Ah, oh, cheap shot at Chicago pizza. I mean, Chicago pizza can be difficult to eat because it's a deep dish pizza. It's very thick. There's a lot of toppings in it. But soup? Maybe not a soup.
Anyway, for this recipe, what you'll need is 4 cups or 480 grams of bread flour, a 1/4 cup or 60 grams of high yeast biga. This will need to have a much higher yeast and flour content than your typical sourdough starter, so it might take you a little while to make that, or just add in more yeast. If you just want to use dried yeast, I'd use about a teaspoon.
And if you're going to be using fresh yeast, you'll need about 3 teaspoons, more or less a 3-to-1 ratio. And you need to check and make sure that it's not expired, because that does make a big difference. And if anybody doesn't know what biga is, this is something you make ahead of time, that you ferment, that you add to pizza, and it starts the fermentation process.
6 tablespoons or 60 grams of breadcrumbs soaked in 1 cup or 120 milliliters of warm water. An additional 1/2 cup of water. 2 teaspoons of salt. 1 pound or 400 grams of unsalted butter.
1 pound of butter. No, honestly, the butter surprises me, because I honestly, when I think of pizza, I don't think of you're going to be adding a pound of butter to the dough. It's a very simple recipe to make a pizza dough today. Very, very simple. Normally it's just flour and water, a little bit of yeast, a little bit of salt. If you want to add milk or oil, you can. I've seen some people do this, but a pound of butter. Whew.
So usually during Scappi's time, butter would have a lot of salt in it, more than we'd be used to. But he specifically in this recipe calls for fresh butter. So my thought is that he's not adding the salt because the salt was added as a preservative. I don't know that, but he also calls out salt individually in the recipe, so We're doing unsalted butter and just adding salt where we need.
Now Max did do a good thing here. He paid attention because fresh butter shouldn't be salted. This is why a lot of chefs don't want pre-salted butter. We don't use it because it's very difficult to manage the salt levels when you add it to a recipe. It's much better to add it separately, that we can actually control the amount of salt or seasoning that we add to that recipe. So we normally use unsalted butter.
2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of rose water. Now you'll notice that these are not the exact quantities that Scoppy called for because he must be making a pizza to feed, well, the entire papal court, which he probably was. I cut everything in half, and it's still a lot of dough. So first, whisk the salt into the flour, then add your yeast and soaked breadcrumbs, and then mix everything together. Then add in the additional ½ cup of water, but only as much as you need to make it form a dough.
You know, the funny thing is that this consistency so far was better than the recipe that we tested with Adam's. And when I'm talking about Adam, I mean the recipe. I'm not talking about him, just the recipe. But that recipe was off completely. If you want to see that video, be sure to check it out.
This dough ends up being super, super sticky once you add in all of the butter. So don't add any more water than you need to get it to come together. If you need to add more later on, you can, but it's going to be real sticky. Then knead the dough for about 10 minutes until the dough starts to smooth out. Then put it in a lightly greased bowl and cover, allowing it to double in size.
If you're going to be working with a dough that's very heavily buttered, it can be very difficult to work with. So if you're going to be making like croissants, you're going to be making anything with puff pastry, anything with a lot of butter, it's a better idea to keep chilling it. Or you use a stand mixer because even though it will still create friction, you're not going to be heating the dough up as much with your hands. This also matters.
Once the dough is risen, punch it down and turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. Stretch it into a square or rectangle and scatter a few pieces of butter on top. Then fold it over to cover the butter.
Seems like he's making puff pastry.